Welcome to Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland. They've been basking in sunshine for this past week, and that's the mood which has been reflected by its team because they are enjoying their moment to shine right now. Recent qualification for the World Cup and everything would seem rosy, but this is the TikTok Women's Six Nations. 6 weeks of grueling action not to be missed live here on the BBC. In England, well, they're in town and they have got to spring in their step as well, returning internationals, and they will produce the type of performance and competition that Scotland haven't faced in a good while. Tune in. This game and this tournament should be absolutely enthralling.
So here's my question. Who and what are you? A rugby player? A Six Nations rugby player? What about a qualification? How about World Cup qualification? Bravo, Scotland. Or not? Beware the backlash. Come on, Ireland. A new and professional era, land of song. And of course, don't ever forget the Italians. I'm feeling the emotion. Plenty of history here. England, #1 in the world. Winners 12 times, the defending champions, the team to beat. France, 6 times champions, last year's wrong to right. And let's not forget Ireland, twice queens. It's our own place in the sun. The hottest ticket in town. A revolution is happening, people, right here, right now. The Women's Six Nations, live on the BBC.
Last time Scotland hosted England at a snowy Murrayfield in 2020, the Red Roses ran out comfortable visitors. Well, the weather has changed and the Scots will be hoping their fortunes change too. But this Scotland team, led by Rachel Malcolm, have found a new steel, both up front and with their stellar back three. Scottish tries rained down in Colombia in sunny Dubai as they qualify for the World Cup for the first time in over a decade. Well, standing in their way is England, a team that possesses the world's best coach as well as the world's best player, as well as Emily Scarrett. She's recovered from a nasty fracture dislocation ankle injury which kept her out in the autumn and is back in England colours for the first time in nearly a year. Sarah Hunter, well, she was in and out of the team in the autumn, but she leads England today from #8 on the occasion of the 131st cap. Congratulations to you too. Well, it's the opening game of the 2022 TikTok Women's Six Nations live from the Dam Stadium in Edinburgh. And we brought the sunshine as well with us, including this beautiful trophy. This is what everyone's going to be fighting it out for today. I'm joined by some brilliant guests as well. So welcome Maggie Alfonsi, Heather Lockhart and Rachel Burford. How are you all okay?
Very well.
Very well.
Great,
indeed.
thank you.
There's a feel-good factor coming into not just the weather, not just the birth of a new tournament, but also the form from the autumn. Looking at England, they must be really excited getting into today.
You're absolutely right. Look, England's form during the autumn was phenomenal. I mean, to go 4 wins from 4, they brushed aside New Zealand almost as if they weren't there. And this England team is growing. Look, there's a lot of excitement around them, absolutely so, because they've got young players who are growing, who are performing, and also the big focus for them now is building up to that Rugby World Cup in October. That's going to be out in New Zealand. You know, it's going to be make sure that they can really put in a performance, and the Six Nations is going to be key for them to really put in that stage and really show what they can do.
Rachel, you'd have been really impressed with the level of performances as well as the style of rugby that they play too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, the way that they played their rugby over the autumn was, you know, it was a new level. It was a level that we hadn't seen before from England. But not only that, you know, we had fans back. They were engaging with the fans post-game, really bringing along, you know, everybody along for the journey, going ahead to that World Cup in October. But I mean, you know, looking ahead, you wouldn't have expected England to quite put the performances they did against New Zealand. So for them, they're going to be riding on a high, loads of confidence. However, there are going to be lots of things that they're going to want to work on. But, you know, just this feel amongst the team, you know, they are embracing every moment of this new Red Rose brand, you know, getting in amongst it with the fans, making sure that they're having a real connection. And, you know, it's really wonderful to see.
Certainly is. And you know, the autumn for the Red Rose are outstanding, but qualifying for the World Cup is quite a major feat and certainly put a spring in a step looking ahead to this tournament.
It certainly did, yeah. Scotland have just qualified for the World Cup in New Zealand, getting that 12th spot. It's their 6th time at a World Cup, having missed out in the last 2, so it's, none of the girls in the current squad have played at a World Cup, so it's just phenomenal. They'd had to do it the hard way. They had to do it over 2 tournaments rather than 1. They came through the first qualifying in the European qualifiers in Parma, beating Spain and Ireland. Yeah, and then they went to Dubai, sunny Dubai, to beat Colombia, which was just fantastic. So they beat Colombia 59-3 and they celebrated in style, so congratulations.
That is absolutely brilliant, Steve. You can see exactly what it means to them, so no doubt they'll be very happy to be hosting this first game and looking to really use that as a springboard. We mentioned that team there and no experience going to World Cup. What about the team playing today? Who looks out for you? Who stands out to you?
I think, well, Hannah Smith missed out in Colombia, so she comes into the squad. And also Jay Conkle hits her 50th cap today, which is just fantastic. At the other end of the scale, we've got Meryl Smith, who's uncapped on the bench from Edinburgh University. And I must mention Emma Wassell, who this is her 53rd consecutive Scotland cap. Chapeau, chapeau, Emma Wassell. In the second row, pushing for all she's worth, so go Emma.
Yeah, fair play. And Maggie, starting with the forwards for the Red Roses, what do you make of the team?
Yeah, the England pack, look, first it's a very experienced pack with over 300 caps, and there's plenty of players to choose from, but my pick of the bunch has to be Sarah Byrne. Look, she plays in the tight head, but could quite easily play in the backs. She carries lots, scores, tries, so she's one to watch for. But Burford, I mean, you're looking at the backs. Who are you thinking about?
Well, it's a hard one to pick from. I mean, the amount of talent that's in that back line, real experience at Leanne Infante. Back three are absolutely dangerous, but for me, Heather Cow, she's been performing in the Allianz Premier 15 and now she steps onto the international scene, so I'm really looking forward to seeing her.
Yeah, two brilliant team sheets there for sure, looking forward to that. But kickoff is in less than half an hour, so let's head pitch side to hear from Brian Eason, the Scotland coach, as well as Simon Middleton, the England coach, who's there with Sonia McLaughlin.
Well, Brian, congratulations on qualifying for the World Cup. Are your players walking a little bit taller going into this Six Nations?
Yeah, they will be, and thanks very much for that. Yeah, they will be. I think we've gone through some hard work to get to the World Cup, but now the focus is purely on this TikTok Six Nations. Really looking forward to it.
Scotland enjoyed wins over Spain and Ireland during that qualification process. Does that give you a platform to build on for this championship?
Yeah, definitely. I think those performances against Spain and Ireland, albeit tough, it gave us that. It allowed us to tough those games out as well. If you look at the Ireland game, we had to really keep ball for the last 2 minutes against a team who was desperate to get to the World Cup as well. We played against, I thought we performed particularly well against Colombia over in Dubai as well in terms of our professionalism against a team that, you know, we should have been putting away, but the fact that we professionally put in a good performance was really pleased us.
Well, Simon, this is a really significant moment for the women's game. How much are your players keen to showcase Red Roses rugby to an even wider audience?
Yeah, I think every time we take the field, we want to be at our very best. But it's a great opportunity. We've got a fantastic day, we've got a great occasion, and along with Scotland, and we want to put a really good show on and entertain for sure.
England, the red-hot favourites for the Six Nations. Outside of winning, Simon, what are you looking to achieve over the next few weeks?
There's a few things we sort of highlight from the autumns we want to work on. In terms of our defence, we want to be a bit more dynamic in our defence. So some of our tempo and our intensity play needs to go up. I thought we made great strides in the autumns in terms of our set piece, but we want to keep building on that. And then obviously, there's combinations. So there's lots and lots of things in development, and always plenty of room for improvement. I can guarantee you that.
England, arguably the toughest challenge in women's rugby right now. What's the key today, Brian, if you're going to be competitive?
First of all, I'd say unarguably, I would say they are the best team in the world at the moment. I thought they performed particularly well in all of their autumn tests. We know the challenge that we face, but we've put a real focus on how we're going to perform, our consistency performance, and what a great way for us to show exactly how far we've come against the world's best team.
Good luck today.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Brian Eason in confident mood ahead of this challenge today, and also really happy with the fact they qualified for the World Cup happening later this year. And earlier this week we caught up with their captain Rachel Malcolm to talk us through it all.
Scotland are on their way to the Rugby World Cup.
We're going there! Scotland on three! 1, 2, 3! Scotland!
Our World Cup qualification process was an extremely exciting one. To get the opportunity to go out to Dubai and play a completely unknown quantity in Colombia in our final match was super exciting. In terms of how the girls performed, it was just probably one of the most professional and clinical performances we've put in quite tough conditions.
Scotland have been dominant in Dubai. They've beaten Colombia 59-3.
to qualify for that World Cup, which has been our end goal for so long, was honestly one of the best feelings I've ever felt personally, but as a squad I think we've ever been through, and definitely deserved after a lot of hard work. We want to turn up to the World Cup in the best kind of physical rugby everything state that Scotland women have ever been in. So this Six Nations is a massive opportunity for us to get exposure to playing some of the best teams in the world, get consistency across our performances but keep improving, and also get exposure to some of our younger players. We've got a super exciting young squad at the minute. It's going to be so important going towards the World Cup that we have a huge amount of depth across all positions, so the biggest aim for this Six Nations is to keep pushing that aspect forward.
The Red Roses prove and protect their world #1 ranking.
England are probably, in my opinion, the best team in the world, and on paper the best team in the world at the minute, and I expect that they will be an extremely physical, well organised outfit. They have a really strong set piece. They showed that in the autumn in particular. I think their scrum and their line out was an incredible platform for them to play off, but equally they have extremely dangerous backs, and also a very physical and well organised defence, so they are going to be pretty tough to crack.
Really good to hear from the Scotland captain Rachel Malcolm there. Heather, I mean, you must be so proud and feeling that sense of emotion, what it really means to this group of players to be able to travel off to the World Cup later this year.
Oh, very much so. As I said, none of this current group of players have played at a World Cup, so to have the opportunity to go to New Zealand, and they're going to be in Pool A, so they will play in New Zealand and Australia and Wales. So between now and then they'll be very much building towards that, and I think they'll use this Six Nations to build the strength and depth that Rachel mentioned, but I think they'll also be aiming to improve on their 5th place that they did last year. 5th place, they'll be aiming to improve in that position. So all to play for, blooding new players and very much getting their game structures in place. I think for today defence is key, as Rachel mentioned, but I think they'll be also looking to improve on their try scoring. Hannah Smith scored last year, but I think they'll be looking to increase that try tally today.
We'll continue that theme of excitement. I'm going to say something I've never said before in my life. Because scrummaging went viral, something I keep you very happy. It's impressive, isn't it?
Rock on, absolutely, absolutely. I think it's impressive it went TikTok viral, but it's also impressive that it went, the standard of scrummaging in this. Christine Belial is the tight head in this clip, and she's only been really probably scrummaging for 18 months, so it's really outstanding. Her first start as a tight head was again in this fixture last year, but as I say, scrummaging is Ollie, and look at Rachel Malcolm's celebration of that. The back row celebrating everyone's work, so, and Rachel McLaughlin too. So Ollie, yeah,
very
definitely.
Good. That had 700,000 views on TikTok. Quite remarkable. Maggie, players to watch today. Who have you got your eye on?
Yeah, look, I mean, this Scotland team in particular is littered with so much talent, as Heather has already highlighted. But the player that I'm really looking forward to watching is Jade Conkle. I mean, this lady missed the last Six Nations because she wanted to concentrate on a professional career as a firefighter. And look, today is her 50th cap, so she's going to want to make sure today is a day to remember. And this lady is a phenomenal athlete. She's up against Sarah Hunter, England captain at #8, so that battle's going to be really exciting. But she carries loads. I mean, in the 2020 Six Nations, she carries 77 times, so do watch out for her. Rachel, you play with her at club at Harlequins. What do you think of her?
Oh, she's an unbelievable player and person. You know, she made that brave decision to take some time out, step away from club and country to become a qualified firefighter, but she's come back and she's in the form of her life. But she's the type of player you want on your team. She's so hard-working, so committed, and she's always that player that will put an arm around, you know, the younger ones if they need it. But I'm really excited to see her play today. You know, she's got a great platform to play off today, and I can't wait to see how she goes.
From the front row to the back three, and there's some wizards out there today, aren't there?
Very much so. It's quite a settled back three. Rona Lloyd, Chloe Rowley and Megan Gaffney, and they have scored 11 tries in the last 4 matches. The most crucial one probably was Chloe's try here against Ireland in the qualifier in Parma. She went through 18 phases, so it's very much a team try, but Chloe finished it off. And to cap it off, Sarah Law converted that try. So it's absolutely, look at them just waiting here, and that crucial conversion by Sarah Law, and absolutely ecstatic scenes. So it was very much a team effort, as I would say, from a prop forward for the back three. So it was the hard yards were done, the phases, and then hands through the two centres, Hannah Smith and Lisa Thompson, for Chloe to score. And well done, Chloe, and well done, Sarah Long.
Yeah, that level of composure is certainly going to be needed today, as you are now, because you're heading off to commentary.
Thank
we'll
you.
give you a little bit of a head start, but thank you very much for joining
thank you.
us.
See you later.
Superb there. Well, Emily Scarratt, as I said, is returning back to this England team for the first time since September. The comeback queen is chatting with Sonia.
And Emily lacing up her boots again after recovering from a quite dreadful ankle injury, which has kept her out for some time. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back, isn't it? And when the sun's shining like this, it reminds you why you love the game.
Are you a little nervous?
Yeah, always a little bit nervous. Obviously, it's I've not played a huge amount of rugby this season, but yeah, any opportunity to pull on the white shirt is a massive one for me. So I'm really glad to be back out there.
You're back with the Red Roses, the Six Nations Championship in a World Cup year. How much are you itching to make up for lost time?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I'm trying not to see it as that, because you then get a little bit, you try and snatch at everything, whereas I'm just trying to get back in the groove of things. Want to go out there and just do what I do. I'm part of an unbelievable team at the moment. So many of the girls coming off the back of a fantastic autumn campaign. So yeah, there's a few of us that haven't played for a while, so we're just looking forward to getting back out there.
Yeah, you are a class act. I'm going to make you blush now, but you haven't played much rugby. So are you going to be easing yourself back in, or have you got 80 minutes in you, Emily Scarratt?
Well, I think we'll soon find out. I might let you know afterwards. Yeah, look, I've only played 20 minutes this season, so I'm not going to shy away from that. Obviously, we've been through some tough training. We do some tough training with England, so there's certainly a lot in the legs. But yeah, and we'll see how it goes in terms of the coaches, how they want to manage that as well. But yeah, hopefully I'm ready for 80, but as I say, we'll see.
And how do you look at this challenge finally? Because Scotland have qualified for the World Cup, they're walking tall. How wary?
Yeah, they're in a really good place. Obviously, we know a lot of the girls really well from playing domestic rugby with a lot of them. And obviously, they've been together a lot recently. They've played together far more recently than we have. So we're very aware that the cohesive side of things will be very together for them. And look, they're at home and they're an incredibly proud nation. So they're going to come out here and give it everything. So yeah, there's a huge amount of respect for the Scottish side.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Sonia.
I think we're all in agreement. It's great to see Emily Scarratt back. But Maggie, just put it into context. She's only played 20 minutes of rugby and starts now for England at the start of the TikTok Women's Six Nation. How impressive is that?
It really is very impressive. Someone like Emily Scarratt really is a professional athlete, as Burford also knows as well. She's someone who'll put the time and effort in. And even though she hasn't had much rugby, behind the closed doors, she's working really hard, doing her fitness training, doing her rehab, and really focused on what she needs to do to get back on that pitch. And I'm so pleased to see her back. She will bring so much confidence to this England side, but most importantly, she'll bring fear to the Scotland side. And I think it's really important that England lean on her today.
Yeah, England, #1 team in the world, favourites to win this Six Nations. But what are the areas they're going to be looking to improve on?
Yeah, I think we've alluded, they had a really successful autumn campaign, lots of things they got right, but there was a couple of areas, defensively that they're going to want to try and fine-tune today, which is timely with Emily Scarratt coming back in. But, just a couple of occasions, what's happening, England's defence is just getting disconnected. Players they want to put pressure on, they want to bring line speed, but with that, you've got to make sure you're watching the ball, staying connected and not getting ahead of it. And hopefully, with the influence of Emily Scarratt back in that role, 96 caps in that position, she marshals the outside really, really well, and I think that's what she'll add to the game today. But here you can just see they just get slightly disconnected. They're not watching where the ball's going, their eyes are on the short player, and then it becomes a really difficult one-on-one on the outside channel, which allows Canada to get in and score. So these are a couple of the areas I think that Simon Middleton and the players will be thinking about trying to sharpen up on.
Absolutely. Well, if that's defence, attack they're not going to struggle, because they've got a few of their own weapons, haven't they, the back three?
Yeah, across the entire back line there are threats everywhere. The back three are absolutely electric, with other players to still come in as well. But for me, Abby Dow at the moment is world class. She is one of the best players in the world playing in this position, and she can also play fullback as well. But it's just the power that she has in the contact. This is Portia Woodman, another worldwide known international rugby player. To finish like that, to power in through the tackle, and that's what you get from Abby. She's not just pure pace, she's got power. She's got an excellent fend, moving the ball from left to right to be able to get away from those defenders. And her acceleration into contact is what beats the defenders, and it's an unbelievable finish. And I'd be really hoping that England are going to try and get the ball in her hands today.
Yeah, but to get the ball in her hands, got to do the hard work up front, as you'd always tell me, Maggie. And Rosie Gallagher, she's had to be patient over 1,000 days between first and second cap. massive day for her today.
Yeah, it is. And look, we love a good sporting story when we talk about athletes, and she really does have one. Like you've already highlighted, it's taken her 3 years to get her second cap, which is, you know, a huge thing to go through. But she had meningitis, came back, then got a massive injury that ruptured a ligament, then shattered her ankle, and then decided to change club from Saracens to Harlequins. But that just highlights her determination and her commitment to want to get back in that England jersey, to be able to wait for 3 years to want to do that. And I know today she's going to really want to put in a good performance, because there's no World Player of the Year, Zoe Aldcroft, and she's got big boots to fill. And I know a player like her will really live up to the stage and the mindset to want to be the best that she can be.
Rachel, you play with her. She's an unbelievable player, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is, and she has been patient. But the thing with Rosie, she's been really making sure she's getting all the little details right. So then it comes out in the Allianz Premier 15s when she's playing for Harlequins. She's getting noticed week in, week out. Her work rate is standing out amongst the most, and that's why she's got the opportunity today.
Yeah, Sarah Byrne, another stalwart, you know, the pillar of that team once again. We just mentioned Rosie Gallagher. How impressive, and what are the things that she does that other players can't do?
I think her acceleration off the mark, you know, not many backs can do what she can do at times, and I just think she's a phenomenal athlete. But it's the way that she can read the game now. She's definitely matured in that position, and her ability to see space, to execute it, to make sure she's in the right position. I mean, here she goes from literally there's nothing to play for here, caught the ball behind her and manages to make ground, you know, 20, 30 metres to get her team on the front foot. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, she plays like a back, you know. She used to be a centre, outside centre, then worked her way to inside, then became a back row. And as they say, as you get older, your number on your back gets lower. And she is really now starting to come into her own, isn't she? She's very much a good ball carrier, scores tries, but plays with good vision. And I'm really excited about what she's going to do today.
Yeah, absolutely. What type of game are you expecting today? I mean, it's all set up, perfect pitch, perfect weather.
I'm expecting a fast running game. I mean, we're on a 4G pitch, so you can't necessarily properly on the screen, but really it's about trying to make sure they can play with width today. So I expect a fast running game. I expect a lot of confrontation, but most importantly, it's going to be a high scoring game.
It certainly will be, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that both teams have got the amount of talent to be able to do that. So I'm really excited for that high tempo, nice moving the ball to the edge. Be exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, I'm excited, they're excited. A record crowd in Edinburgh, Scotland against England. Well, it's time to join our commentary team now with Brian Moore, Heather Lockhart, but first, Sarah Orchard.
What a cracker of a match we have in store in the Edinburgh sunshine. The defending champions, the world #1 side, England, are here to defend their title against a Scotland team with a bounce in their step after that World Cup qualification last month. Now, it is expected to be a record crowd for a Scotland women's match here at the Dam Heath Stadium. They have been packing in lots of sunglasses on show, such as the gorgeous weather that we have here. And there's a real buzz around this Women's Six Nations this year. There is a lot changing both on and off the field, but one constant is that Scotland against England, well, it's a rivalry as old as the hills and will not be lacking in any passion. Shortly, the teams will be coming out onto the field. They will be playing for that trophy as a few more fans just settle in. A few have started quite early there, and why on earth not? An early kickoff, but still here to enjoy the rugby. So it was England that lifted the title last year, of course, in a slightly different format, but we're back to normal proceedings, 5 tests and a Grand Slam up for grabs. Here comes England, led by Sarah Hunter. They do have plenty of travelling support here, so they should get a good welcome. Well, for the England skip, it's her 131st cap today, telling us in the week she's as excited as ever as she heads into her 15th Six Nations campaign. Now 36 years old and lining up alongside her old mate in the form of Emily Scarrett, a real spotlight on the outside centre today. Of course, the former World Player of the Year in 2019. Only 20 minutes of rugby, she told us there, under her belt so far this season after that broken leg. Let's see what she can make of it. Well, it is a long walk for the Scotland women from Murrayfield, but of course, they are not led out by their captain today. They are led out by a woman about to win her 50th cap. She will enjoy this moment, and here she comes. She's racked up the half century. It's Jade Conkle. Here come the rest of the Scotland team, but it is Jade Conkle who takes the adoration of the crowd. It's taken her a while to get to this moment, having taken time away from the game, of course, for her firefighter training, and also she has been affected by injury, but finally she gets to the milestone. Rugby will, of course, now make its mark against racism in any form. There's no place for it in sport or anywhere. We will also have a moment to reflect on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Well, everyone just getting to their feet now to mark Rugby Against Racism. And then shortly we will have the anthems. Very well observed here in the Dam Heath Stadium. Nearly everyone on their feet. And it will now be the anthem, starting off with God Save the Queen.
Live on, O Queen, God save our Queen.
And now, Flower of Scotland. We are nearly there, but it is time to take a look at the sides. We'll start off with Brian Eason's Scotland. He makes only one change to his side that beat Colombia last month. The forwards unchanged, with Loughborough props Leah Bartlett and Christine Belisle forming the foundations of the pack. Of course, Jade Conkle racking up the 50, wearing number 8. Into the backs, there's the one change as Hannah Smith returns to wear 13, having been suspended for that match with Colombia. Lisa Thompson switches to inside centre with Helen Nelson wearing 10. On to England, and only 7 of the starters that face the USA in the autumn. In the forwards, 6 of the 8 come in, whilst the young 20-year-old Wasprop Maud Muir, she switches from tight head to loose head. Saracens back row, Marley Packer racks up her 80th cap wearing 7, and in the backs, all eyes on the returning Emily Scarrett outside centre. Her Loughborough Lightning teammate Helena Rowland wears 10, continuing her partnership with Bristol's Leanne Infante at 9. There's a couple of debutantes on the bench to look out for. For Scotland, Edinburgh University's Meryl Smith awaits her chance, as does England's number 23, Gloucester Hartbury's Emma Sick. Well, look at this sunshine. Everyone is smiling, and so they should be. So many cameras out, so many people enjoying this. Here we go, here's our referee today, Ireland's Joy Neville. Her first international test since she's finished her maternity leave, so happy Mother's Day to her for tomorrow, and all the mother mums that are out there.
10 seconds.
Back to the office. Alongside me, Heather Lockhart, I'm Brian Moore. Heather, how is Scotland feeling about this?
Oh, I think they'll be absolutely up for it. They're just ecstatic to be playing at home in front of this fantastic crowd. They played in front of this crowd in November, but I think it's special being in Six Nations.
Sunglasses on, rugby in the sunshine. This could catch on. England will get us underway. The 2022 Women's Six Nations has started. It's Helena Rowland that sends the ball flying through the gorgeous blue sky, and Scotland who gather inside their own half. Back down the line, it'll be cleared towards the middle of the field. A bouncing ball that Cowell just chases there, but it's Kildunn who gathers. Flirting around the halfway line, Byrne there, good support on her shoulder in the form of Cleo. Quick hands already by the Red Roses, Packer. Infante switches the play back towards the middle. Davis. Aitchison gets to pass it out to the wide, and not a clean pass there, so an early mistake by the Red Roses. And I say this with 2 front rowers alongside me. We get to see a scrum, Brian Moore. I bet you can't wait for this.
Well, it'll be interesting. Heather, not easy. Maud Muir being asked to play on the other side. Explain to people what difference that makes. People just think you stand on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, so it can't be that much difference. But it is, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a difference. There's a difference in the role, and there's a difference in the muscles used and the balance, etc. So good luck to her, because it is a switch, and especially at international level.
Well, is this scrum going to go viral is what we all want to know.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well, that's steady for now. Simon Middleton very wary of this Scottish scrum, but England starting to push now. It goes to Maxwell to clear. Maxwell again decides to bring it back to Wassell. It's not steady there for Scotland. It's going to take them well. Nelson under real pressure there by the running in Infante. And Dow's dropped that one. Referee happy it was backwards. Rowland. Kildunn. And Saracens Packer there to be scrum half if required. Infante says, don't worry, this is my job. Now this is a bit sloppy from England, you have to say. Scarrett.
Okay, stop, White, stop.
Nelson.
Stop, wait.
Well, the ball is bouncing. It's not going towards the line, so it's not going to be a 50-22. It just rolls over the line. Rowland not interested in touching down. It's going to come out of play on the near side. We'll restart then with a Scottish line out. they've got to be careful of kicking the ball here because it's really rolling on this synthetic pitch.
They have, but if you want to kick long, you want to find grass, as they say, and it was a very effective kick. England, as you stated, a bit of an untidy start.
10.
And they need to focus on that.
10. Watch my hands.
Worcester's Lana Skeldon to put the ball in for Scotland. Long to the back, taken there on the fingertips, nicely done. Big hit through, what a hit that came by Byrne. Maxwell.
Advantage offside, number 4.
And penalty advantage then for Scotland.
Advantage.
They've got a free run at this. Nelson with the quick hands. They're trying to ship it through Thompson out to the far side.
Still advantage offside, stay.
Maxwell again, Wassell with the soft hands then to Malcolm.
Inside
Crossfield kick, chasing this one down is Rona Lloyd, but down, too easy for her to take.
Advantage, offside.
Although I say it's easy there, with that sun beaming down, I don't know how much they can see out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Scotland are definitely kicking far more than they did in this fixture last year. They've recognised they need to get territory and put England under pressure right away, which they are doing right now.
No, we're very pleased by the fact that both their set pieces have held up.
That was a fantastic line out. Louise McMillan at the back. They were practicing that yesterday in the team run, and great that it came off, and patience there.
Big runs going in there, and Scotland from this penalty opportunity have decided to kick for the post, so a chance for them to go ahead early. Helen Nelson plays a rugby at Loughborough Lightning, will step up. You can see Rosie Gallagher there for England looking on. Here is Nelson. She's got 90 points in her Scotland career. She has played a little bit of rugby in France previously with Montpellier before she switched to Loughborough. Well, that one's gone slightly to the side, so England get a reprieve. That will be frustrating for Scotland because they have to take these opportunities.
Very much so, and I think they'll increased pressure last year. They had rare opportunities into the 22, getting penalties. I think they need to keep sustained pressure just wide there, so next time.
Well, it's Nelson's Loughborough Lightning teammate, Helena Rowland, who sends the ball straight back to Scotland. There is a lot of Loughborough Lightning players out there today. A lot of the Scottish squad have favoured that side in the Premier 15s League. Back now to Nelson. Goes in for a little bit of the dirty work, does the fly half, not afraid of getting involved.
Good fight.
Wassell. Support coming in by Skeldon. There's Smith. She manages to get the pass out in the end to McLachlan. Maxwell. Scotland are stringing phases together here. They just need to get a few more metres over the game line.
Balls up, play on.
Spun off the floor, bouncing ball, and Lisa Thompson, not quite the execution required. Trying to get that little bump pass away.
Counter rock is good.
Maxwell. And you have to say, you feel that this English defensive line is beginning to get a bit angry.
Well done,
Kildun. Runs into heavy Scottish traffic. Hunter, England captain, on the ball.
Release.
She's been impressing in training, as has Marley Packer, according to the England head coach this week. Both of them setting the standards. Ward. Bristol co-captain involved. Helena Rowland puts the high one up. Can Scotland deal with it? Yes, they can.
I thought it was a penalty. Were we meant to go up to the end and she was meant to go to the halfway line?
Come back
to the
then.
side. Hold on.
In from the side and holding on there. Frustration for Megan Gaffney, as this has given England a lovely platform.
Well, Scotland's first mistake, because I thought for the first 7-8 minutes they've been the better team, they've been more cogent. The problem they've got is, although they're going through the phases, they're not quite posing the questions that breaks the England defence apart. You know, and England are a very well-coached team. They're very well drilled. They're getting back in numbers, and they're making sure that they're not breached. So Scotland have to just offer something slightly different when they're taking the ball into contact.
That line out wouldn't be what Lewis Deacon, the England forwards coach, would have wanted, but England do hold on. Spun out ball. Ward involved again.
Roll 10. Advantage, rolling into that
Another penalty coming England's way.
Don't touch her.
And it's Infante who goes quickly. Still Infante. Scotland need to stop her. Support on her shoulder. Not there yet. Rowland arrives. It's picked up at the end by Cow. The Harlequins wings looking for the line. She's got to get over if she's going to get there. Packer is there and thinks she scored.
On the line. No. Right.
Try given to Saracens' Marley Packer. Her 22nd in an England shirt. Scotland have held England for a while, but eventually they've muscled over.
All down to quick thinking, wasn't it? Quick actions as well. Yeah, Infante leaving the Scottish Reds behind. Once you get right behind the initial line, everything goes wrong for a defensive side. Good support on hand as well. And from there, not inevitable, but against a very good side, you're going to struggle.
Good footwork there by Heather.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, that was Heather Cow just powering through there. Didn't quite get to line. She did well not to be taken over it. You've got to be very careful now in rugby union about going over the line and not being held up, because it gets given to the opposition. But Packer knew exactly where she was. And look who's on kicking duties. She's back. She hasn't forgotten anything. She's brought her boots. Emily Scarrett.
Heather, I was interested what the Scottish coach Brian Easton said before the game, saying, you know, we want to keep faith with the processes and what have you. But I can't see Scotland in a structured game out-muscling England, and I would have thought playing with tempo, more tempo, and the unexpected, quicker line-outs, the trick plays would be probably more productive for them.
Yeah, and I think, and also the kicking game, I think they really need to concentrate on that really explosive kick chase. They gave Ellie Kildunn a couple of minutes ago far too much space.
Hold on.
England back on the ball. Kildunn running it out of the 22, then sending it down as the Piper comes into play here at the Dam Heath Stadium. Chloe Rowley, oh, what a big hand she put there, pushing Abby Dow away.
Okay.
Conkle, described by Captain Rachel Malcolm as one of the best carriers in the world.
Oh, stop! In front!
A lot of her Premier 15's teammates will agree.
We've got a
now that one looks like it's gone out on the full.
Yeah, you're right. You've got a fascinating battle, haven't you, between the two back rows. You know, the two Rachels, Malcolm and McLagan, and Jade Conkle against Poppy Cleal, Marley Packer and Sarah Hunter, three very experienced and very powerful carriers. And that will go a long way, I think, to deciding which side gets over the gain line, gets front football, from which everything is possible.
I think you're right, Brian. I don't think we want to match like for like in that physical battle. I think we need a bit more subtle. Scotland need to be a bit more subtle and move it round and find the spaces just in behind like New Zealand did for their tries before Christmas.
There's the Scotland catch, and coach Brian Easton looking on there, counting his statistics about what is and isn't happening out there on the field. And there's Conkle awaiting next duties. It's interesting the temperatures that we're playing in today. Perhaps not what a lot of players are used to, but of course Scotland playing out in Dubai, they actually did a lot of hot weather training to be able to go out there, so they'll probably be really enjoying this. They will have definitely adjusted. Davis, long pass to the back. They'll be happier with that line out.
Stay. Line out over the 15.
That's moving well from England.
Stay bound, 7.
They've managed to recycle.
Advantage. Swimming.
And they've got the advantage as well.
Number 7.
The warning there going to Rachel McLachlan.
Number 8.
More warnings for Scotland. A chance for England. Helena Rowland tries to run out of trouble. Popped off ball. Packer again. She is everywhere. Pick and go, this time through the middle. It's Gallagher, it's popped off, it's Poppy Cleal! Minutes on the clock, and England already with a second, and it's another for Saracens.
Well, just mentioned them, didn't we? Packer and Cleal are absolutely to the fore there. And what they spotted is, whilst the Scottish defence are making every effort to try and get back in line, the gap straight behind the breakdown there, and just no cover.
I agree, it's just around the breakdown, that's when the most dangerous, little pop back inside, and then the next phase Poppy scores. So really got to close that guard shield area, that's 13. The area around the breakdown, and go low and double team it.
It is difficult as a defence, isn't it? You can't cover everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're trying to get back in line, and it only takes a moment's inattention and someone from the other side to pay attention as to where the gaps are, and you're sunk.
Absolutely. I think Scotland will be looking to get back down the other end of the field now.
Well, as Scarrett pops that one over, it's worth mentioning that as Cleal goes over for that try, that means that England have now clocked up over 4,000 points in the Six Nations since the tournament became the Six Nations. They're the first side to do that, and the next team that are closest to them are France, and they're still flirting around 2,500. That's how strong this England setup have been.
Inside. Well done, 6. Okay,
Rowley sending the ball back down the field. I can't stress enough how hard it is for the players in the backfield with that sunshine beating down on them to see where it is coming from.
Stop. Okay, now.
Gathered in the end by Nelson. Thompson arrives. She finds Rona Lloyd. A real speed step.
No effect.
She was once in the top 100. Over 60 metres in the country.
Not rolling away.
And this is a penalty advantage to Scotland, and that's a welcome opportunity for a little bit of time on the ball.
Absolutely. Looking like they're going for the touch and line out, and they'll be looking to execute this well.
Big decision this, Brian, about whether they go for the corner when you're already 14-0 down.
I don't think so. I think in the end, England have the propensity and the power to score a lot of points while you're here, and you've got the opportunity to go for the corner, especially as the first set piece line out went well. Take the opportunity. You're not going to catch England in threes.
And they're a wee bit wider of the post probably for Helen.
Well, there's a big meeting going on there with the Scottish forwards.
The importance there from Rona Lloyd is when she came into contact, the yards she made after contact, 5-6 yards, makes a big difference to support lines of all the players. They can run on and get quicker ball.
The Melrose-born Skeldon gets the ball in, finds her woman. That's gone straight down. Referee Joy Neville was happy. They recycle, they go again through the middle. Helena Rowland stuck in that one. Back once again, Wassell. They need quick ball, Scotland, if they're going to use this. The captain, Malcolm Maxwell, pass that far side. It's going to be quick hands. Is this going to be a Scotland try in the corner? Chloe Raleigh scores! Scotland are in the mix at the Dam Heath Stadium as Raleigh goes over for her 14th in a blue shirt.
I'll leave this to you, Heather. You were jumping up and down to my right. Off you go.
No, it was just fantastic set piece, and the second time that we went to the back in the line out for Scotland to Louise McMillan at the back, and just patience going through the phases. Rachel Malcolm did a superb carry, and then recycling, numbers on the left, Hannah did well, and Chloe scoring. Absolutely superb finish.
And there was one just before the two you're seeing there, the carries. They were from depth, they were at pace, and they made the ground, and that's the difference.
Yeah, you were talking about those hard yards, absolutely, absolutely.
Big props there, of course, also has to go to Hannah Smith, getting that pass out. She's in your fantasy team, you'll get a nice assist in there. Can, of course, now play Women's Fantasy Six Nations Rugby. So far, Not been a good kicking afternoon for Nelson, but Scotland off the mark. And it is interesting, Heather, because there are a number of players in the Scottish team that can kick at goal. They've got options.
Yes, absolutely. Serlow's on the bench, but remarkably, hooker number 2, Lana Skeldon, can kick as well. So absolutely, Lisa Thompson as well, more from hand, but Lana can take it from place kick as well.
All hookers can kick at goal.
That's exactly what I was about to ask you.
They can't always get it over.
Backwards, backwards. Off your feet,
She's not your usual hooker, Brian.
Ball's available, 9. Ball's available.
England, how are they going to react to having a try scored against them? Remember the last time they were out against the USA, they managed to hold them to 89-0. Kill done. Dow is with her. Referee's blowing a whistle. That's gone forward on the floor. And we get another scrum down in that corner.
Well, England's doing some things well and some things not as well as they would like, because when the ball came wide, they're a bit too lateral. A number of stopping passes, by which I mean you just put the ball in front of the player, put it to the side, and they're having to pause, and eventually they run out of space and they don't get the edge that they want.
Remember, England haven't played since before Christmas internationally, where Scotland have had that test, and maybe that's just slightly benefiting at the moment.
Keep the distance.
Ooh, just a little warning there by our referee Joy Neville for the Scottish back line, just to keep that distance back. Now Scotland, they were pushed slightly by England at the last scrum. They're holding, but you can just see England starting to get the nudge. Thompson does manage to place back calmly in the end as Wassell carries again.
White turnover.
Stolen ball, England want it, but there isn't any support arriving quickly. Rowland.
On the ball and arms, play on.
Cleo. Infante, Ward, Byrne. Cleo again, she is looking for work. She is hungry today to get her hands on that ball. Back inside, it's Dow. Has Dow been caught? Dow still trying, she's got her knee to the floor.
She's stuck in there,
going
forward.
Arguably England could be a little bit lucky there. Scotland thought they had that, and they are questioning that to the referee. You can see all their eyes turning to Joy Neville.
Yeah, Scotland did well there, but yeah, we'll just see what Joy's going to do.
Well, initially they held her up, but obviously when you're in that situation, what the ball carrier tries to do is to get the knee to the floor. Yeah. Because even if they're not actually on the floor, knee to floor counts as a tackle, and therefore they've got to release you.
Keep it up. Thank you.
Not given, no.
No, I think they're looking at it.
Not given, no, not given. England are using the pops back inside to great effect.
Fine.
Another scrum, and England once again in a very fortuitous position on the field. Hunter, her trademark control at the base of the scrum, working well as it goes to Scarrett. Little pop there, made the space for Kill done. Now that looked a little bit nasty. Hopefully both players are okay.
No clear for me.
Still Scarrett.
Draws, 15-7, good.
They decide to go back towards the centre of the field. Cleal on the ball. It's loose. Ward goes in to tidy. Infante spun out towards Muir, who manages to bounce off that first tackle. So strong. Rowland now, she pops off the ball. Cow! Heather Cow, her third cap today, her fourth try in an England shirt. They're impressive numbers.
Well, it's England's ability to keep the ball alive in and around the tackle area. It doesn't look much when Poppy Clear takes the ball in like that, but she draws 3 players in to tackle her, and then when she's on the way down, ball just comes out and is kept alive, and that means all the defenders are struggling then, because we've got a static point and a frame of reference. Ball keeps being produced quickly, and eventually you just run out of players. And that is a huge carry.
Huge carry by Maud Muir, absolutely. Helena Rowland just supplying good ball and getting that pop away.
That was
Maud Muir will be happy though.
That was Maud Muir's first carry of the ball as well. So what a way to start and welcome yourself to the pitch.
You see the offload there though as well. Took three players out.
A little bit of a test here for Emily Scarratt out on that far side. It's not quite silence here, so she might have a few Scottish voices in her ear whispering sweet nothings. And it's worked, because that's the first one she's missed. 2 from 3, none too shabby, but England still with a commanding lead.
And it's great to see Emily lasting. She's only played 20 minutes, so that's fantastic. She's hit that mark, so more to come from her.
From a Scotland point of view, if you've got 3-on-1 tackles there, and one's gone low and one's gone high, someone's got to wrap that ball up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Working, double teaming, working together.
There's a little bit of a delay here because Sarah Burns still receiving a little bit of treatment to her knee. And it's bang on the halfway line in the middle where Scotland want to restart. She's okay. Oh, that one has gone a long way, and I have to say, I think they had an eyes absolutely stuffed full of sunshine there. And it's an option here for Scotland about what they want to do, and they're going to go for the scrum. I have to say, there's a bit of confusion there as well. I think it might have gone straight out. I'm not sure if England actually touched that.
Yeah, straight out, and England have elected to take the scrum.
Heather, you must be very pleased about the way that the Scottish scrum's gone. England did a lot of damage to big teams in the autumn internationals, and Scotland so far have been solid.
Yeah, I think it's at the start it's very much 50-50, and it's real parity. And just when the ball's going out, England seem to get a wee bit of a shove, but very much 50-50.
Well, that one's gone straight down to the floor, so they'll reset this. I can't stress enough how crazy this fixture is compared to what we saw here 2 years ago when they were at Murrayfield, and Abby Dow looked like the coldest woman in the whole of the UK at the time. And look at them racking up those carries and meters made now. England 40 carries on 24 minutes.
Perhaps it's a consequence of holding the Six Nations when the weather is good. Now, whoever thought that would be a good idea?
It's always sunny in Edinburgh in March.
I'm sorry, that's just not true. That's really not true, I'm sorry.
And they're back up underway. Joy Neville soon enough. Emily Scarratt, gorgeous hands there to Dow. Dow on this news. Oh, she's off! Behave, Abby Dow! That is absolutely gorgeous! What a running line, what a finish. Abby Dow, try number 4 for England, and that's a bonus point.
Well, he looked almost nonchalant from Emily Scarratt, didn't that pass? But once Dowd gets behind a line, you're not going to stop her.
Just inches down the sideline. Rona Lloyd just missing that tackle.
The Scottish defender has to do better there, doesn't she?
Yeah.
The simple handoff. It's a one-on-one. Can't go high there.
Yeah. She just managed to slip down that sideline.
Well, Abby Dow, she missed out on a try of the year last year. Scoring tries like that, she'll certainly be back in the mix once again. Credit to the woman about to attempt to slot the conversion, because she gave the pass there to Dow. Emily Scarratt was the top scorer in last year's Six Nations, coming back with a haul of 69, and she's on her way once again. Now 3 from 4 from the boot.
You know, the thing with Abby Dowd, players underestimate her. She looks, you know, reasonably frail for a rugby player, and yet she's not. She's powerful, and people think you can just smother her high. You can't.
Yeah, deceptively fast there, but yeah, okay, go back to Emily Scarrett's little pop pass. It really was excellent. Really made that try for Abby.
Well, England building up a head of steam here. Scotland have got to start controlling the game and the scoreline to get back in the mix.
Roll 3.
Currently ranked 9th in the world, Scotland. Of course, England are the world #1s.
4, stop.
Quite a big disparity between the two sides. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. Unfortunate there for Exeter Chiefs' Chloe Rowley. That is, however, their first handling error, Scotland, whilst England have had plenty more.
That's a really good point, I think. And as well, with 13 minutes on the clock till half-time, just looking to settle it down and tidy that up. Chloe will be disappointed with that. She'll know herself.
Keep your space and don't worry. Okay.
Overall, I don't think Scotland have played badly. Certainly with ball in hand, they've been, you know, very competent. The set piece has been good. The difference has been, you know, on the occasions when England have just overpowered them with the power carriers, and the times they've managed to get behind the defence.
Bind. Set.
Infante gets the ball in for England. The Bristol scrum half waiting for Hunter. On her shoulder, still kill done. Oh, the footwork was there.
Not on the ball.
Scotland defence holds, throws that straight into a Scottish shirt, so that's offside.
Stay.
Spun back this time through the hands. Got to see Galligan there on the ball. Infante again, Rowland, cross-field kick, taken by Cowell out on the far side. She's still going, Cowell can't get the pass away.
At the knock-on and the tackle, no advantage back here.
And they're going to come back for the
Offside,
penalty.
14.
Some excellent play there. I really like the way Helena Rowland's controlling this. Excellent play. And Ellie Culdunn's run.
Number 14.
Really, really good. She's a threat. I really like, she's quite economical, very easy runner. Great feet there, really good feet, but fantastic tackle by Scotland.
On the line, please, ladies. On the line.
Well, that was the Cowell take there. Just needed a little bit more pitch to help her out, but you can see that huge tackle coming in by the Scotland captain.
Yeah, great tackle.
A lot of pressure on Helena Rowland, the England fly half today. Of course, Zoe Harrison really made a name for herself in the autumn internationals as nailing on that 10 shirt, but she's injured. She's got a slight niggle that's kept her out today. Simon Middleton has said we'll see her soon, but Rowland very keen to make her stake for that shirt as well.
Maul, stay. Pass the 5.
Oh, this is good from England. This is looking strong. It's still moving and it's over. And that's the second for Marley Packer.
Well, Scotland caught between two ideas there. If you don't go up, you don't throw a jumper up to contest, you have to get all the players in to the drive early, and they didn't. They were fractured, and that meant England could go on the front foot. And once they were... you don't compete there. All the outside players there, they're upright, and eventually, well, there are only 2 or 3 players
I think
left behind.
I think Scotland needed to commit more players to that from the very, very start.
Well, that's the reason for not throwing players up. If you don't throw players up to compete, then they've got to do something else.
Yep. We know how lethal the England's maul is, so yeah, they've done their homework on that.
Well, they appear to be happy with the grounding, so Scarrett can line up the conversion. Scarrett was the 2020 Six Nations player of the tournament. 2021 was taken by Poppy Clear. As she sends that one just wide of the uprights. That's 2 she's missed so far this afternoon. Simon Middleton just making sure he's up to date with the score, making some of his notes for that halftime talk.
To restate what has been said 2 or 3 times by all of us, the triumvirate of Packer, Hunter and Cleal they are very, very powerful. They're world class.
Thompson who restarts for us. Cow. Well dealt with by Belial.
Roll one.
Big defensive effort going in by Scotland. Comes back in the end to Aitchison. Someone needs to put a name on that for Scotland. It's Nelson who says, I'll have this, thank you.
Off the foot, Cleon. Off the foot. No, no, come.
Still Scottish ball.
Good.
And we have to remember that Simon Middleton's got a real focus at the moment on defence for England. They'll be so desperate to make sure they don't leak another try. Maxwell finds the forwards. They're in pods, but again, it's slightly lateral. They need to find a way through. Long pass out to the far side. Gaffney. Maxwell again. Everything Scotland are doing so far, there's a white shirt there, slightly juggled ball.
Ball is out, Cleon.
Get to see Skeldon have a little run. Phases really being strung together now. Smith with the soft hands. Again, it's Gaffney looking for work.
Tackle, release White.
Once again, they just can't break through.
Counter rock is good.
Maxwell. Side to put boot to ball in the end. Dow reads it. She sends it straight back, and Scotland just being pushed further and further back into their own half.
Inside, girls.
Raleigh. Oh, she's been hunted down by Kildun.
She's battled very well there to keep that ball.
Six, don't move there.
Pop back once again. Big carry coming in through Conkle. Well, penalty here for England.
You've sealed. The initial infringement is for you sealing, and the second one then is holding.
All of that effort
Number 7, sealing.
just results in an England penalty, and this will be tiring emotionally and physically for Scotland.
Yeah, I think it's hard at the breakdown. England are getting up ahead of steam, and it's really hard work at the breakdown. I think the first arriving player needs to be a bit more clinical, and sometimes it's first arriving player is isolated. We need two in to clear out the physical threat.
The problem with her, there was almost a latching when she went in, which means almost bound as she went in. And as a player went down, she went down with her inevitably because she was too close.
Yep, yep.
Balls at the front, tackle.
Well, Davis got that in nicely. It almost looked like Scotland weren't going to contest.
Tackle initially.
In the end, they did. And Scotland have ended up with the ball, so they won't care how that happened.
Emma Wassell celebrating there, and quite rightly so. Every defensive win.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. Yeah. No problem.
And that's a real chance for Scotland to get themselves out of a tight spot. They'll be so frustrated with the position they've ended up with. They just need a strong scrum to get them out of this difficult corner.
It was a tackle initially, so therefore their ball. Okay. Here you go. There's the mark.
Clear explanation. Joy Neville, I like her as a referee. I think she's a very good referee.
She was also a very good rugby player. So you just saw there, Scotland did hold off there from the line out. And England are going to have to be wise to that, because it may be something they deploy again.
Crouch!
Here comes the scrum.
Set! Hold it. Stay inside 9. Good.
That scrum has held from Scotland. It has been under pressure. Thompson on the crash. Skeldon. Maxwell pushes back. Oh, slightly scuffed off the side of the boot. Not the distance they wanted from Nelson.
We'll see how Scotland defend any more lineouts that are close to their own line. Interesting there, because if they don't contact any of the England lineout and England is setting up for a drive, it means the first player can just be a tackler and drop whatever players are there. If they make contact before that and the maul gets going, they're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Contest good.
Comes in then from Scotland. There was a hand on it from the charge down from Poppy Cleal. And they need to get out of trouble here.
No hands, Rock.
Conkle there with the big carry. Emily Scarrett there, she gets the call for the maul. There are now knees on the floor. Scotland trying to bring it down, but the damage was done. That was all Emily Scarrett.
Ball first. You go. No need. Come on. No need.
I don't like that rule, actually.
Yeah, it's a tough rule. As I was saying earlier, Emily Scarrett just cut from a different cloth. There's a back, getting involved in the mauls there. Absolutely well done, Emily.
Okay, no problem. There's the mark.
Working hard to hold the player up. Rosie Gallagher in there as well.
Clear gap again. Clear gap. Take that space.
Rosie Gallagher there in that second row. Teaming up nicely there with Scarrett, offering her the support she needed.
Crouch!
There's a very big blind side to defend here for Scotland.
Blind! Set! Early.
Free kick this time for Scotland. And they'll be delighted to try and get themselves out of their half.
Before the ball came in. Free kick.
Only a free kick though.
Early.
Not long to go until half time.
Okay, let's go please, 12.
Scotland to do anything to make that scoreline a little bit happier on their side. England would like to make another dent. Rowland, trademark socks round her ankles. Waiting. Scarrett, well, she's not perfect. We've got the proof.
I think there's just a wee bit of miscomms there. It's a good opportunity for Scotland here just before the half-time.
Before the ball came in. Now, lads, I spoke about stability before the start and clear gap. And I keep talking to this side about gaps closing on this side. Okay, so that's my message now.
We can hear there the conversation with Joy Neville in the front rows.
Yeah. So listen, need you to hold your weight. I'll ask her to keep that space. Cool.
Cool, right. That's simple, guys.
That's
Two
fine.
front rows. They always listen to referees and do exactly what they're told. So this scrum will be perfect, won't it, Brian?
They all lie, I know that.
Never.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
There is very little between these two sides at the scrum. Been so solid. Rona Lloyd.
Kaka, release!
Oh, not been able to take cleanly there by Hannah Smith. Knocked on. And it looks like we are going to finish this first half on a scrum.
That scrum there was excellent from both sides. Both Maud Muir and Christine Belial, not hugely experienced at international level, and that was both technically very good.
I'm sure Maud Muir is finding that it isn't quite as easy as it sounds just to switch from one to the other side.
But she's learning as she goes. She was listening to Joy there.
Thank you so much.
Well, Maud Muir is really being looked at as a hybrid player for England. When they go to the World Cup, they don't know what kind of numbers each squad will be allowed to take with them. So the head coach, Simon Milton, he's talked quite openly about players being able to play in multiple positions, particularly the front row.
Twice.
And it's a penalty then for England. The clock is gone, and it looks like England want to play. They're going to go for the line-out.
Rachel,
It's interesting because she gave a penalty for early twice for Scotland. Interesting.
Wait.
Absolutely fantastic. That time on the ball, she gives herself time.
Emily Scarrett just sorting her knee supports out. So she's missed a couple, but this one's slightly more straightforward. And she's 4 from 6. And England with a commanding lead as the half-time whistle goes in this opening Women's Six Nations match. It is Scotland 5, England 38.
Well, it's been impressive first half for the Red Roses, that's for sure. Scotland came out firing, but it is England through their tenacity, tempo and poor discipline from Scotland at times. Some lovely tries being scored today. England with Packer, Cleal, Cowell, Dow, Packer again and Infante right at the end there. Chloe Rollie responding for Scotland there. Plenty of work for Scotland in half-time. They're going to have to get their heads together and see how they can repel what seems to be an unbelievably well-oiled machine for England. We've had opportunity to take a breath because that was fast, furious, frantic at times, but a really good start for England, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, initially it was a bit of a slow start because there were a couple of hand errors, and then they found their way as they got into the game. But I've been really impressed with Scotland. I know they're not high on the scoreboard, but it's been a competitive game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the second half is going to hold.
Yeah, and on that first try for England, like you said, a slow start by them, but a little bit of tempo, and they show exactly what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely right. Once they finally got into the game, they really showed what they're capable of. I mean, it took 8 minutes really before they got their first try, and it came from Marley Packer. I mean, to be fair, what was very good about what they did was their ability to control the breakdown. So initially it came from a penalty, and then that quick thinking by Leanne Infante. I mean, that's smart play, because what she did, through taking that quick tap, she pulls the Scotland player away, and it allows many players to get onto it. But the strength in the breakdown, the strength in the contact, and that quick thinking to a quick tap was brilliant work. I mean, Marley Packer, 80th cap, again, it shows you what this forward pack is able to do, just to stay strong on the ball. But overall, what a start to this game.
Yeah, really good start there, and England didn't stop there, did they? Discipline been quite a factor, hasn't it, for Scotland?
Yeah, absolutely have. Every opportunity that England have capitalised on has come from discipline and a penalty, allowing England to get into the Scottish 22, and they've been absolutely ruthless every time they've got in there. Playing with that tempo, running really strong and direct, that makes it so hard for Scotland to be able to recover from. So, I think Simon Mills will be really pleased with that area of the pitch that they're playing in at the moment, but I think there'll be a few conversations about a bit further up the pitch about what they're doing with the ball.
That's it, and the start of the penalty, actually, which led to England's second try, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I think, just the quick thinking, the tempo that they want to play with, they know that they're an extremely fit and physical side, so if they can play on top the whole time, then it's not going to allow Scotland to be able to recover. Just Leanne Infante being really sharp and smart around the breakdown, knowing that there's opportunities, and what a great pick. We've seen this time and time again, the offloads, there's a player right on the shoulder every single time. Poppy Cleal and Rosie Gallagher have been playing really well together in the first half so far. Just Poppy Cleal being really smart, knowing where there's going to be a gap left from a defender.
Yeah, and I think just England have been, like you really highlighted, they've been smart around the breakdown. Joy Neville, as the referee, is absolutely on it. She's looking for those penalties, she's looking for those people to infringe, and I think Scotland have to be a bit smarter around the breakdown to avoid giving away those penalties.
But Scotland did respond through Chloe Rollie. It was a really well-worked try, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, what a reaction. It took, I think, 15 minutes before Scotland got back into the game. But look, it's from the line out. England just didn't compete, which is surprising. They tried to stay down, tried to stop that drive in more, but the quick recycle from Scotland, they're looking for that width, getting their big ball carriers onto the ball. But lovely, look at the control that they take. But also England trying to get into the breakdown by narrowing. And through when they get narrowed, there's a space out wide, and they have to keep an eye out for Hannah Smith. She gets the ball out wide and looks for the offload. But beautiful play by Scotland, looking to play smart, trying to suck England in and find that space there for Rollie to score.
Yeah, it's a really smart try. We spoke about defence before the game. How did you read that?
Yeah, I think, Maggie's spot on exactly how Scotland are trying to attack slightly a little bit wider, but for me, England aren't working hard enough. They've got to get their numbers around by the breakdown to give them a bit more width. And what happens here, we mentioned it in pre-game, about making sure you're watching the ball, making sure that you're reading what the player's going to do, because here we just pull ourselves out of shape. We don't get the fold quite right. That means now Heather Cow and Ellie Kildun are really shortened up on the outside. They've got an extra player. Heather Cow just jumps in because she's got to try and stop the ball. But great handling from Hannah Smith to get the ball away, and Chloe Rollie knows exactly how to score, especially here with this crowd.
Yeah, Heather Cow may have made a defensive mistake there, but she certainly responded in an attacking way, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Look, she doesn't need much opportunity, Heather Cow. She's absolutely explosive off the mark, and she's been really pivotal in this game. Plenty of opportunity, but again, it all comes from just being really strong and direct. Maud Moore, we haven't seen much of her on the ball. She takes the contact in. 3 players are tackling her, so there's going to find space, but a beautiful offload. And a lovely finish from Heather Cow in the corner.
Abby Dow, she didn't want to be shown up, did she?
Yeah, we talked about her at the start of the game about what she can do, and you give her ball in space and she will take that opportunity. But keep an eye on Emily Scarrett. She makes the lovely offload Dow, she spots where the touchline is, cuts the line back inside, and she really does well to outplay Scotland fullback there. You know, for someone to really understand the pace and the balance and the speed that she has, really highlights the fantastic player she is. But I mean, Dow, you can almost think that she's only got more to go in this game.
And this is an extra from Marley Packer, very good as well.
Yeah, it's good to see that we know that the set piece from England is well oiled. So this is the first opportunity they really struck in that area. And Marley Packer, just superb finish.
Yeah, really good. And then right at the death again. I mean, Sarah Byrne operated as an outside centre in that channel. I mean,
The vision, again, similar to what you would expect from an outside centre, holding that play, then looking for that offload. But yeah, Fante would be very happy that she got that pass from her.
For Scotland, just quickly, what would they be wanting to improve in the second half?
For me, it's discipline. I think Scotland are giving away far too many penalties at the breakdown. Like I said, Joy Neville is absolutely on it. So they've got to be really smart, play a clinical game. And, you know, again, at the line out as well, they're giving away some penalties there. So almost if they're going to stay down, look for that, stopping that drive and more, and then try to get into England.
Yeah, absolutely. Wales against Ireland, that is next at 4:30, and you can watch that across iPlayer as well. So much has changed positively in the Wales camp in terms of professionalism, and this is exactly what it means to those affected.
There was once a teenage girl who on our lives who didn't have a team to play. What would you say to her now?
She just made me a bit emotional then. Yeah, that is the reality, you know. I didn't have a club to play in because there was no age grade. I fought for so long to even get my first Welsh cap, and to be in this privileged position now, and the strides that the game has taken is massive. Sorry if that really struck home then.
I'll be so proud as captain this campaign to lead the girls out after all the hard work, determination and everything that we've gone through. This squad is a resilient squad, and I'm excited for us to show what we can do. You can expect from Wales a hard-working, determined, excited team ahead of this year's Six Nations. The retainer contracts and professional contracts will definitely help with our execution and how we perform.
By the end of these 5 games, we want to be looking back and going, we blew these teams away. In our last 15 minutes, they couldn't live with us. Our bench came on and brought an impact, raised our intensity. That's what we've got to look at.
We're super excited to have a standalone Women's Six Nations tournament, excited to have crowds back. This is massive for us to create our identity, but also get the generic rugby supporters along and get behind this competition because it's an exciting one. Ireland first up is going to be really tough. They were outstanding last year's campaign, but we've got a point to prove. They're on home turf, but we need to stick to our structure and our plan, and I'm sure we put in a good performance, but Ireland are going to be a tough opposition to begin with, but we've got the capabilities in our squad.
Incredibly impactful women's rugby changing for the positive out in Wales there, and that game is live on BBC iPlayer, 4:30 Ireland against Wales. Well, we're thrilled to be joined by one of my favourite women's rugby players, Natasha Hunt. It's a shame to not see you on the pitch, but we're thrilled to have you there. What was your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, awesome from the girls. Like, you can't ask for a better day. The crowd's in, the sun's shining, and it's an amazing track. So the girls are enjoying it out there for sure. I think hopefully it's going to be able to keep that tempo in the game, because obviously the heat is a little bit sapping, but no, they're in good spirits for sure.
On the heat, you're the only one that actually got the memo today. I'm here in a mad jacket and a blazer, and you're fully fledged there in your shorts. What do you think the messages will be at half-time to the girls?
I think just be relentless with it. Something that we're trying to do as England at the minute is play real high tempo, keep that into our game and everything we do, both sides of the ball. So just making sure that we just come out and really start and attack that second half will be a key for the girls.
And the game plan you try to put in place Monday through to Friday, are we seeing it today? How close to what you're trying to build are we seeing in this first half?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was an edgy start from both teams. I think Scotland really embraced the crowd and came out and threw everything at us. But they weathered that storm and they seem to be really getting through what Simon Middleton's asking them to do now. So I think the coaches will be happy definitely with that scoreline at half-time.
And a scrum half that likes to play with tempo, are you pleased with the level of tempo we're seeing so far?
Yeah, definitely. I'm here for a quick tap. I think I've really enjoyed Leanne Riley getting hands on the ball and just taking that defensive line on. And for me, not only that, but the way that the girls are running off it, it allows her to be able to play like that. And definitely if I get the shot in a few weeks' time, that'll be something I'm looking to do as well.
Fingers crossed indeed. As a team that is ranked #1 in the world, favourites for this competition, there's always areas to improve on, which I'm sure they're talking about. What are you seeing? How would you like to see this team develop, grow in the second half?
I think just similar, like just that tempo. I think it's so easy to play on the front foot, and we're blessed with ball carriers. Poppy Cleo, some of those offloads in the first half. You see Sarah Byrne running through, dummying 3 times before she finally gives the pass. So like as this England team, we are very blessed that we've got unbelievable forwards that get us on the front foot, and then I'd like to see the backs take on a little bit more now in this second half and really start to light up. I'm getting nods. That's something you said, is it?
Something that Rachel you were talking about, Sarah, in the first half. Just those hard lines from everyone, right?
Yeah, just want to be really direct. Because like you say, when we've got those blessed with those ball carriers, get us on the front foot. We've got some incredible talent in that back line. If they could just hit on, stay square, there's going to be plenty of room for the likes of Abby Dow and also Heather Cow on the other wing and Ellie Kildan inserted. So if we can be a bit more direct, it's going to create some more opportunities.
We highlight some players before the match. One of them was Abby Dow. She's quite the player, isn't she?
She's unbelievable. I think I've just recall her going down this wing. We do these like sprints, and her quads are just next level. Like honestly, when she's running, her quads pop like I've never seen. But this was just unreal. Like you want wingers that back themselves, but just the ability to go in and out on the fade and then come back away from the rushing defender and still have the pace to do that. Yeah, you want her on your team every day of the week.
Yeah, you've just come from the change room. What was being said there? What was the levels of emotion like?
Just chilled. Like the girls are in such a good place. Obviously I've had a bit of time out of this now, and just the level of detail everyone knows so well, so it's a very calm environment. Everyone knows the process. The girls that are the leaders, they go together and they just group, and then all of those messages get filtered through. So it was just, when I left, to be honest, I only had 3 minutes, but it was just everyone sat in their cubby holes having a minute, taking a breath, trying to cool their body temperature down, and the detailed messages are going on now, so I hope I don't miss too much.
And for you, yourself, back in the squad now, look like you've got a massive smile on your face, loving life. How good is it to be back?
Oh, it's awesome. Like the girls, like these guys know, but it's just an amazing environment. The girls are incredible. Back playing with some of my best mates and running around in the sunshine, so what's not to love?
Yeah, a record crowd here as well. Beautiful sunshine, a far cry away from what it's like a couple of years ago. You must be absolutely loving this, right?
Yeah, last time I was up here we were playing in the snow over in BT Murrayfield when the game got moved 1 over, so yeah, absolutely loving life.
Yeah, very good indeed. Well, we're going to let you go and get back to your duties. Mo, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the second half.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maggie, we've heard it there from Mo. I mean, I was, of course, really happy with how everything's going. Second half, let's talk now narrow details, because they've got a really healthy lead at this point.
Yeah, it's really good to hear Mo actually speak about that, because the reality is they had a pretty good first half, but there's always room for improvement, and this is their first game. They need to build on that, and like you already highlighted, it's about how do we get the backs involved, because we're seeing their forwards do really well, the Burns, the back row, you know, I mean, how good is Poppy, Packer and Hunter as well, but how do we get the backs more involved? So I expect in the second half we're going to see a bit more probably kicking behind the Scottish defence, and actually seeing some more of the backs get into the game and really take the opposition on.
Lovely stuff. Well, we've heard from Mo Hunt, we've heard from our panel guests as well. Let's hear from Simon Willington, the England coach, who's with Sonia McLaughlin.
Simon, I know you love an A4 pad and you love to scribble on it. What have you written down on your favourite notebook there?
I think like top of the sheet is just about mindset. You know, what we want to get out of this second half, and how we want to not just sustain what we've done, but go again. And then we're looking for the impact of the finishers when they come on. So it's very much about whether we can keep pushing the level, pushing the intensity.
It looks like Emily Scarrett has never been away. Do you have a plan for her for this second half? Is she going to try and go the full 80, or are you just looking maybe to replace?
Yeah, we'll see how she feels. You know, we keep checking in. But yeah, she's sublime, isn't she? Some of her pass selection is just incredible. Because she's operating in 1 metre of space down the edge here, and then opening the field up completely. So yeah, it's great.
Excellent. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great to hear from Simon Middleton. Players are out, which means it's time to head up to the commentary team of Brian Heather. But first, Sarah.
Thank you. Well, you ready for more Women's Six Nations? England are back out. They are ready to go again. What a first half from them. 6 tries. They want more. They are not done. What can Scotland do to try and hold back the white machine? They're running straight through the England players. Of course, they've been using the Murrayfield changing rooms because we're nestled right next to the International Stadium here in this specially built arena. Playing, of course, on this artificial turf, which combined with the sunshine means, Brian Moore, we are getting a lot of tries in the sunshine.
We are, and people are able to play at pace. I mean, if you can't play rugby in this sort of atmosphere, then you can't play at all. And actually, these girls, they can play them very well. The big stat that comes from the first half, and Heather and I were looking at this, 7 offloads to England. And what that means, the passing out of the tackle is devastating, because it just means defenders cannot realign.
Well, it looks like we are ready to get underway. Lisa Thompson for Scotland. 40 minutes still to go in this opening match. Packer. She wants every centimetre of this pitch that she can have. Goes back. And that's stolen by Scotland. Penalty coming their way as well. It's slow ball. Comes back in the end to Skeldon, who does almost a little bit of a dummy. Pop ball to Wassell. Coming round the corner, still Scotland to Gaffney. Stolen this time, and England come away with it.
Tack and release, red, blue.
Well, it wasn't a penalty, it was a knock-on, so the advantage is over, and here comes Cleal. She finds good support, and Mule, what a pop-up by Mule, back to Cleal. But a great tackle by Hannah Smith, who took out the arms. But a warning there to Scotland, sorry, to England to keep it low.
High tackle.
High tackle there, good scramble defence in the end.
That was the Helena Rowland steal. This was the high tackle by Aitchison. Out to the far side, no touch found, so ball remains in play. Maxwell. Someone needs to play scrum half. She's not going to get up just yet. Ball coming in round the corners. Maxwell now back on her feet.
Blue, stop.
Sends it
Stop.
to the backs to give them a little bit of breathing space. Kildan on the run, bounces off her chest, and you can see the frustration on her face.
When we look at this half, look at the difference between the way the ball is carried into contact. Because all defences now are lined up. And one of the biggest conundrums in rugby is how you make defenders make decisions. And England in the first half had options inside and out, so they could pass the ball just before tackle, either inside or outside, and that makes the defender have to make a decision. With Scotland, it was very much more one-out runners, which means someone is running into a static defender, and it's much less sophisticated. And it means defenders can just concentrate on one thing, i.e. making that tackle. What Scotland need to do is have a bit more sophistication when they're carrying the ball into contact.
Yeah, and just tidying up the margins for her as well, making touch, etc. Great tackle by Hannah Smith there on Poppy Cleo.
Step back. Okay, step back a bit. You're up.
Well, let's have a little bit of a listen in.
Square for the three of you, please. You're up. You're stepping up left. Or up right, excuse me.
It must be quite hard to mark the turf there when it's an artificial pitch, but credit to Joey Neville for trying. Right, they pack back down. It's going to be quite warm in there. It's an artificial pitch will heat up just that little bit more than if it was grass.
Set.
And that has gone down. That's the first scrum for a while that's actually hit the turf, but Scotland have got the ball out. Smith.
Advantage white in a scrum.
Well, that's a penalty advantage from the scrum, so I'm not sure how far Joy Neville will let this go.
Bind.
Well, it did go down on the far side.
Number 1, bind.
So it's against Maud Muir.
You see here, she's looking for the bind. Whose hand comes off first?
It's more she just goes to the ground.
Well, some of the kicking from Scotland, particularly from hand and the place kicking, is an area where they will be frustrated because their set piece has been pretty strong.
Absolutely. We saw the try. It came from a fantastic set piece down in the bottom right-hand corner. We've got another opportunity again. So it's just ironing out these margins for errors and executing.
Well, the kicking Skeldon gets the ball in, long to the back, taken by McMillan.
That's the third one by McMillan. Well done.
Plays a rugby at Hillhead in Jordan Hill. You can see England, they're trying to hold up the Scots on quite a few occasions when they go into contact. Maxwell, Skeldon, Nelson pushes out to the far side. Smith can't find daylight. They're still pushing towards that far side. Conkle now. Here comes the 50 capper. Makes a meters. Cleo flying over the top of that.
Taking the 9. Number 6.
Well, the warning's against Poppy Cleo. She can go through that ruck. She just can't touch the scrum half.
Great opportunity here for Scotland. Good field position. Just keep the that was really good there. Patience in the phases, and we see there Poppy just taking out the scrum half. Jenny Maxwell.
Poppy Cleo on cap number 51 for England today. Scotland, look at this position on the field. Oh, just taken there by McMillan. Difficult one to bring down, and penalty advantage, not down safely. Could there be more coming against England? There's going to have to be a big defensive effort here. You feel that Scotland are building up a head of steam. McMillan manages to find Malcolm. Misses out, the player comes back inside to Smith. Maxwell looks up. Conkle can't get there, still a metre to go. The crowd is geeing them on their space if they can get the ball there. It's a miss pass out wide, Runa Lloyd.
Legal. No hands, leave it.
They can sniff that line. Oh, and it goes down.
No advantage.
They will come back for the penalty.
2 penalties. Taking the player in the air, number 6, and not rolling over here. Captain.
Well, Poppy Cleo. Probably a little bit lucky there for where that penalty was given away.
Or not rolling over here.
Well, Scotland within one pass of going over the line there. The wide pass just needed to go to hand. Unfortunately, it was short, and because they had to wait for the bounce to collect it, the England cover got over there. But a superb opportunity here.
Excellent phase play there by Scotland. And really good line outs. Let's see the execution again. It's a superb take there.
That's playing the ball in the air, not quite down. Playing the man in the air.
Yeah,
the woman in the air.
Poppy's not allowed to do that.
Another big opportunity then for Scotland here. They have enjoyed so much possession in this second half, over 70% of it, but they just need the points on the board. That line out hasn't gone how they wanted, but they've stolen on the floor, and is it going to be given by the referee?
I'm not sure.
Oh, she's not sure.
For me, I think it was back by White, then forward by White, and then grounding.
Rachel McLaughlin thinks she scored.
Have a grounding. We want to make sure that there's no knock on. Okay. So, Matteo.
Well, they've got a bit excited on the PA here in the Dam Heath Stadium, but they are going to go and check this.
Before White knock it on, Blue pick it up and score the try. On the Institute's try, we have a grounding.
Okay, Jay.
Okay.
Well, our television match official is Matteo Liparini of Italy.
I think White. If it's going to be tight.
Well, the decision is an on-field try, so they've got to find evidence, clear evidence that it's not. Well, if that didn't go forward from a Scottish hand, it was knocked back by an English hand, so it should stand.
We bring it back to the ball
If
in the
there's
air.
no, it depends whether they say that's gone forward from a Scotland hand.
That looks like an England hand at the last.
Looks like an England at the last hand, doesn't it?
Rosie Galligan's hand.
Right in saying 7 blue. Not
Joyce,
the ball.
that's the angle we have got.
But does it go forward there? That's the point.
It's off 7 blue. Matteo, do you agree that it goes off the fingers of 7 blue? So knock on. Because you have the best angles.
The best angle I have, yeah.
The thing is,
Okay,
that's
Matteo?
very marginal, eh?
Yes.
You have the best angle. It's pixelated here. From what I see, I think it's
that's very arguable, because you could say
Yes.
the England hand didn't give her opportunity to catch it.
So we
Would
need
she
to
have caught
distinguish
that
whether the ball
had the
goes
England
off
player
7
not?
blue before it's tapped back by
Yes,
white, Matteo.
that's-
So
Okay.
Because yes, it does touch the hand, but because
for
the
me,
English
clearly
hand comes
forward by
in,
blue.
I agree with you.
No try. Yeah, clearly forward.
That's
I don't agree with that.
marginal, very marginal.
Half five. Half five.
Yeah, I take your point, Brian, on that one. Yeah.
There's a lot of people talking. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, Rachel Malcolm there was straight in the ear there of our referee, Joy Neville, highlighting the penalties. As it looks like we're going to have our first change.
Here we go.
Maud Muir is going off the field. 20-year-old Wasps woman makes way for Harlequins' Vicky Cornborough. Really experienced campaigner, being brought straight into the front row for this scrum.
I think Maud's done really well today. I think her set piece has been excellent, and a superb ball carry earlier in the first half as well.
That was a difficult call there for the officiating team to make. I think it depends if you're looking at it through a Scottish or an English lens, which way you thought that was going to go.
50-50.
Music 9!
Infante gets it back. Scarrett taking that one straight into contact.
All white, stop!
Space eventually for Rowland to clear. And England, they've made a little bit of breathing space for themselves there, but this is still good for Scotland, who have been camped down in this corner for some time now.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about, sustained pressure. We had the two spells in the first half for Scotland, but we're having some sustained pressure, and let's see what comes of it.
Good take in the air by Wassell this time. Talk about a constant player in the Scotland squad. We said in the build-up, this is her 53rd cap.
Stay bound, stay bound.
53rd
That's one
consecutive cap.
Stay.
That is some stats.
Off your feet.
Oh, Scotland did everything they could to hold it. It was Packer who poached it.
Maul.
Fantastic physicality there from
Keep it up,
Packer.
Maul.
Well, at the moment, it's Lark Davis of Loughborough who's just
Entry,
controlling that at the
number 4.
base.
Advantage.
And now it's an advantage. All of that effort, that time that Scotland spent down there, the penalties, and it's going to be England who get to clear.
well, it's a hugely powerful carry initially by Marley Packer, and then augmented by the England forwards, making 20-30 metres there.
No problem with that touch, and England will get the chance to attack again from the next lineup.
Very similar to the first half, Scotland
Take a step,
having the first 5 or 6 minutes, but not being able to get over the line.
Great tackle by Poppy.
Such awareness there by
Advantage
Poppy.
penalties.
Clear. Liz
Deliberate
Scarrett
knock-on.
now has it. She can't get the pass to Aitchison. Rowland has.
No advantage. Number 4. Deliberate.
Well, a warning there against Emma Wassell.
And depending on the quality of the kick, you see a couple of mistakes and a penalty given away, and you've lost 75 metres.
Yeah, exactly. It's just those margins for errors, and Helena Rowland is kicking really just nice, consistently steady, making the meters that they need.
Well, if you are new to women's rugby, you'll be hearing us saying a lot. There's a lot of players out there playing for Loughborough Lightning. Of course, that's the Premier 15s League in England. And of the Scottish squad today, 12 of the 15 starters actually play in that league. You'll find that a lot in the Six Nations, that many players ply their trade in England now. This is looking good from England. Are they going to release it or hold it in there? Forward's quite happy.
Advantage.
Strong stuff. High field kick put in. Aitchison, can she get there? Can she touch it down? Try given to Holly Aitchison. Perhaps that sums up what we've seen in this second half. Scotland so long down in the red zone, can't get the points. England, they arrive, they take 5.
Pre-planned move. When the ball is, when you allow the ball to bounce, it can go anywhere. It was a favourable bounce for England, well followed up.
Very well followed up.
No problem there.
Again, good control by the England forwards, and Leanne Infante, I'm very impressed with her. Great control and great relationship with Helena.
Scarrett then, just topping up that England scorecard. Aitchison, one of the players who went out to Tokyo for the Olympics with the GB7 side. The most frustrating of places, of course, finishing 4th, but now focusing on her 15s rugby, along with a lot of other players now, because it is World Cup year. There's also a Sevens World Cup later this year as well. But players in England are being asked to choose which one to focus on. Now,
Holly
big moment here.
try.
Emma Singh of Gloucester Hartbury has come onto the field. Ellie Kildunn has made way. There's been a lot of calls in the Premier 15s to see Emma Singh get a run in an England shirt. This is her chance now. There she is, Emma Singh, 21 years old. She's actually studying for a degree in veterinary science at the moment. She's going to be running into Hannah Smith, who's actually already qualified as a vet, so very well qualified if there's any animals that have any problems today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Congratulations, Emma.
Well, that is a very good kick, and it's given Scotland the chance for an immediate riposte.
Girls, take a step. Take a step. Take a step.
Well, we've got a change here for Scotland as well. On the field is Molly Wright. Lana Skeldon is off. Sale Sharks, Molly Wright couldn't quite get the ball there to a blue hand, and England have it again.
White, stop!
Rowland under pressure there by Wright.
I think that was only the second time that Scotland had gone front ball. Interesting. So tough. England
And you
marked
wonder
well.
why, because they've been successful, you know, with the longer throws, so why change?
Yeah. Good steal by Rosie Galligan there.
Well, the hooker will get the blame for that, but if you start in a position where you're lifted in the line-up behind your opposite number, the hooker can't hit anything.
As you see at the front of that line-out, Lisa Coburn of Worcester's now onto the field. Taken right there at the back there, McLachlan. Slow ball again for Scotland. It's really hard for them to try and build up a head of steam. Nelson. Maxwell again finds Thompson. Smith was there, but really close, and a lot of white shirts blocking any kind of vision.
Thanks for rocking up. Don't take the 9. Stay. It's stuck under their own person's leg.
Nelson, soft hands. Maxwell, pop back inside, taken by McMillan. soft. It was nice. It's all backwards, says our referees. It's taken forward now by Shona Campbell. Again, McLachlan. Busy period of play for her. Nelson back inside to Thompson. That's a good line. Smith tries to go for the handoff. Wassel. You see the England players just arriving, ready to poach the ball. They can't, and it's stolen off the floor.
Roll! Stay.
Scotland playing some really nice rugby, just unable to finish.
On the ball. Use it, 9. Onside.
Infante finds Scarrett. She goes crossfield looking for Cal. She takes it nicely. Bit of footwork comes in. Strong hands. Oh, look at this by Galligan. The galloping lock. Oh, Emerson can't take it. Here comes Raleigh. Chloe Raleigh. Oh, the crowd loved that. Macmillan.
Off your feet, White.
Thompson. She thinks she can see space. In the end, it's just watched out of play. England line out, huge amount went on there.
That wasn't the. I mean, it was a beautiful break, but a lot of people might not notice what Marley Packer did there. When she made the tackle, she held on to the ball long enough to slow it down completely for Scotland, then got back to her feet and competed.
That one from Emma Singh, so frustrating for her as the ball is back under way now. Middle of the field.
Okay, White, stop.
Campbell. Runs straight into Cal. England penalty. Well, the clock has been stopped, and it's actually Rachel Malcolm who's taken a knee there.
Not clear and obvious for me. I didn't
Very
see the
powerful
injury there,
work there.
Yeah, Shona Campbell.
Over the ball.
Yeah.
Here.
Abby Ward, you get one chance to move someone who's bigger than you, and if you're not accurate and you don't get the lift right straight away, it doesn't matter how much more you do later on or how many more people come in. Once someone like Abby Ward is set, very difficult to move them when they get in that position.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's going to
and
be
just going back to the Chloe Rowley break, she did exceptionally well there and did exceptionally well in defence. She didn't commit either way, so made Rosie Galligan make the pass.
Couple of changes then coming. Poppy Cleall's making her way off the field. On in her place is Alex Matthews of Worcester. And it looks like Emily Scarrett is going to be making her way off the field as Amber Reid of Bristol has come on. A lot of focus on Emily Scarrett in the build-up to this one. And it looks like the broken leg well healed, and she is back.
The most important thing is that she's not picked up any injury. And she's got some minutes under her belt. She's played reasonably well. She'll be happy with that. And she can build on it.
Oh, she can be immensely proud of that. 58 minutes after only playing 20 minutes, so prior to this, so absolutely superb.
Well, these fresh legs coming on for England will be the worry, because arguably they have the stronger bench compared to Scotland. They've gone quickly as well. Infante looks up. There's Rowland. Reid straight on the ball. Great counter rucking from Scotland. They don't quite put the extra inch in, though.
Stay, good.
Rowland.
Tackle.
Well, it was Alex Matthews that was almost caught up right there.
Take it back. Good, good.
Spun out ball then to Hunter. This time taken forward through Cornborough. Rowland. Ward, nice hands to Galligan. Galligan, she's had a strong game, hasn't she? Rosie Galligan, Harlequins lock. In 3 years since her first cap, she has been prolific. 15 tackles. Talk about put your hand up. There's a World Cup later this year, and England have won a penalty as well. And that is what both these sides, as much as this is an important Six Nations, are thinking about. It is a World Cup, and they all want to be on that plane.
Of course they do, and one of the problems is I don't think they know actually how many people they can take yet, which is a ridiculous situation, frankly, isn't it? Actually, it's not a penalty. I think she's just stopped because it was likely, or there's a potential to the player who was injured to be in the way.
Rosie Gallagher, I mean, outstanding. 3 years ago, first cap, had meningitis and then in severe injury. So really, all those battling qualities coming out in the pitch today.
Apparently Rosie Gallagher has really impressed the England forwards coach Lewis Deacon in training today, and there she is, going up the stats. Marley Packer leading that one with 18 tackles, but Gallagher's in there. And the back five is a real area of strength for England, and they've found another one, another cab coming off the rank. It is impressive what this Premier 15s league is producing.
Yes, but this is what results in investing in the women's game properly, which the RFU have done. And there is no reason why the SRU can't do the same. They just don't want to.
Yeah, for people who don't know the makeup, the England women, they have 30 players on professional contracts, full-time professionals. There are other women who come in and out of the squad. Whilst the Scotland women, they're not professional. They're given what's called individual support packages. That could be made up of assistance with travel costs, could be help with getting time off work, help with education. It's not a salary. Ball comes away then to Rowland. England haven't scored for a while, nearly 10 minutes. Gallagher again. Quite the comeback. Head down, still English ball. Big run from Packer. Scotland really struggling to deal with her today. Gallagher again, there's Byrne. Still Byrne. Rowland, huge hit going up, but she's put the ball away to Matthews. Rowland slowly getting up after that. Round the corner by Infante, lost forwards. And I think Helena Rowland is still trying to take in a little bit of air after that hit. It was big.
Shona Campbell take about, absolutely outstanding. Just epitomises what we're wanting in the defence. Just watch here.
Well, when you make the decision to come in from outside, you've got to hit the player or the ball. Definitely did that.
Absolutely
because Scotland were a player down for nearly all those 6 phases. Yeah. And unfortunately...
So, offside against your number 23.
That's Lisa. Okay.
Right, we've got a change coming here then for Scotland.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hard lines, Lisa, I hope. Speedy recovery, I hope it's not too serious.
Where's the mark?
Well, I don't think it's good because the saw stand up and she immediately went down with her ankle again.
Yeah.
She couldn't put weight on it initially, so it got a bit better because she's walking off. Yeah. It wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, coming back on to the field then is Leah Bartlett to fill that hole. As we see the very slow walk off there by Lisa Coburn. She'll be so frustrated having not been on the field for too long. Quite a few running repairs going now, and so much of that is just the speed that this game has been played at today.
And the physicality, absolutely. And those hits, those collisions.
Yeah,
Lisa, unfortunately, just before she went off, she did a fantastic counter rock. And yeah, she was frustrated with her ankle.
Well, some big changes here then for England. Look at this. Coming on. Well, emptying the bench, essentially, is what we call it. Lucy Packer, you can see there. She's been the form scrum half in the Premier 15 so far this season for Harlequins. And that's the end of the afternoon for Sarah Byrne, Rosie Gallagher, also Lark Davis. So Connie Powell also on only her second cap today. She moves into that front row. Right, so Connie Powell's going to go straight into action at throwing in. That is her first move here.
It is not necessarily the one you want, the pressure one, but an opportunity for England. And you see the problem for Scotland, the quality that has come off the bench for England. No diminution whatsoever.
Well, Powell finds her woman in Ward. And let's see what these fresh legs do. They are moving is what they're doing. Who ordered a steam train? It arrived.
Oh my word.
And it's Connie Powell. Try there for the Gloucester Hartbury hooker. Not on even 20 seconds.
Two tries and 2 caps, absolutely fantastic. She'll be very, very chuffed with that. She scored in her debut against the USA, and absolutely great line out take. Abby Ward, always impressive and really controlled. Good leg drive, good finish.
The important thing there, before the maul was moved, they made sure that this ball was sealed properly. They made sure the maul was set up. Far too many teams try to go forward before they've got the blockers in place, and that's a hell of a kick as well.
Great kick, Helena Rowland.
That's Helena Rowland's first kick of the afternoon. Emily Scarrett now off, and Rowland steps up. Rowland, one of the leading point scorers in the Premier 15s this season. She's 3rd on the list, behind Zoe Harrison and Emma Sink. Bit more credit, though, going the way of Connie Powell. Only made her debut against the USA in November. What could be discussed there between Scott Beamond and Simon Middleton? I'm sure they're pretty confident that the job is done with the way the score line is at present.
Just over 15 to go. Scotland will be looking to get something from these last 15.
Retreat, stop. Okay.
Raleigh then. She sends it down the throat of Rowland, and look at the speed. Here comes Emma Singh. What can she do? Big hand off by Singh on debut. Emma Singh still going. Stopped right at the end. England shirts, wait, Cowell is there.
Tack and release.
Packer places back. Big run forward.
Stay, please.
Packer. Remember, there's 2 Packers on the pitch now. One's scrum half, one's in the back row. Ward.
Stay.
This time it's Cleal of the Bryony variety. Still England. Has it been given? It's over. It's a hat-trick, and it's Marley Packer.
The ball hits the ground at the side. The time off.
Oh, she gave it. She's going to check it.
Matteo.
Well, they're going to go back and look at the phases
I'm happy
before.
with the grounding. I have a clear grounding. But I do want to check the last ruck to see whether there was a knock-on. I think it was by White 9, their replacement 21.
Okay.
Okay, so we're looking for a knock-on, which would be frustration for Packer. Hat-trick's always nice.
Just before that. Just the ruck before that. I have a clear grounding, so I'm not questioning the try. It's just the last ruck before the try is scored.
I'm not sure we've actually seen a grounding there from Packer, but they did say
grounding
before
just there.
that they were happy.
So I'm happy with the grounding. Initially, it was held up, and then she pushes the ball to the ground. So I have a clear grounding for the last ruck.
Here comes Rowland to Ward. And it's what happens next. Well, that looked to be okay. There's another ruck to come.
Yeah, do you see the hand of the white player? Does it come forward from the hand of the white player on the floor?
Well, this is tricky to see because there's legs in the way as well.
Last ruck. Slow it down as the white player is.
Okay, Joy.
Yeah, they're just checking that last ruck.
Well, this is also where it's very frustrating for all the fans in the stadium here because they can't hear what's going on.
I think was the best angle on that hill from afar.
And they're probably not sure what they're actually looking at the moment.
Well, it's not from the scrum half because the scrum half doesn't knock anything on.
No, it's okay from her
It's
angle.
whether or not
it's
forward from the player on the ground. And
It touched with the foot first.
Okay.
I can't see a clear and obvious knock on.
No.
Does it go forward there? No, I don't think so.
Foot.
It's the foot that moves it.
Yeah, just.
Try given, Packer gets her hat-trick. And now we can finally have the conversion. Big smile there by Marley Packer.
The foot, not off the hand, no knock on.
She was actually given the freedom of Yeovil, Marley Packer, after she won the World Cup with England in 2014. I haven't found out if that means she can leave her sheep somewhere.
It usually does, doesn't it?
Usually does, doesn't it, Brian? Have you got the freedom of anywhere, Brian?
No, I haven't got the freedom of my own house.
I think Simon Middleton said recently in one of the papers that she's the best player in the world at the moment, and she's really proving that today.
That's what happens when you live with 5 females. You don't even have the freedom of your own remote control.
You're a very lucky woman, Brian.
I'm not sure they'd agree.
Roland then, her second chance at the sticks. On a bit of an angle. Flags.
Scotland 5, England 57.
And the score is obviously piling up against Scotland, and when you look at it at the end of the game, it's going to look bad. Scotland haven't played badly, it's just that in crucial areas they haven't made the most of the chances, and again at crucial times they've been outpowered by England, who've managed to get more clean breaks and managed to get more offloads.
Yeah, I think it's just capitalising the chances and keeping sustained pressure, especially when we're down in the bottom right-hand corners. The line-out's been outstanding.
Taken then by Reid. She's done really well there. Scotland flew up to slow that down. Oh, ferocious rucking by Scotland. They want this.
No hands.
Packer just assessing her options. It's Beckett who takes it on. Sarah Beckett only managed to return for England in the last game against the USA in the autumn, coming back from injury. Thompson. Oh, Helena Rowland is very keen to say that didn't bounce in, but it did.
So it bounced.
As you say, Sarah, much better counter-rucking. Physicality there, the breakdown by Scotland to slow down the ball.
22.
Scotland getting the throw because it was a 50-22, which means it bounced inside the 22. A new law introduced as an experiment. I think it's a good law.
Taken in the end by Rachel Malcolm. Here comes Wassell, straight into Packer. Beckett tries to take it, Scotland hold. Conkle. Support there, either side of her, decided not to use it through Belisle. It's Sarah Law now there at scrum half.
The penalty advantage as well.
Scotland have been here so many times now. Can they get something out of it? Smith can't run through. They've got the penalty to come back for, but they had the shirts outside.
Yeah, much better sustained pressure there. Sarah Law controlling things at the breakdown there. Yeah, but going back to your point about the 50-22, I do agree it's a good trial law, and I note World Rugby are looking for feedback on it by Monday.
I think the feedback is all positive, isn't it?
Yeah,
I haven't heard anyone particularly.
No.
It's very hard to do, is the main thing to say, so credit to anyone who can execute. McLachlan.
Advantage.
Another advantage. Right, who's going to be in trouble here?
Be a warning at least.
That poach was fine, but there's no advantage for an offside, okay? So, captain, time off. Time off.
Yeah.
Okay, that poach was good, so no advantage, but 18 and number 12 are offside. Now there's too many penalties. No, listen, there, no. Centre there. Listen, no more penalties in this area or someone leaves.
England are really lucky not to have a card here. This is the second time they've been in this situation. And Sarah Hunter just making sure there, as she talks to Joy Neville, that she has time to bring in the team. And this is stunning captaincy from Hunter. She knows what she's doing. Any momentum Scotland had now ruined by the longest huddle.
That's very cynical of you.
Said by Brian Moore, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't said in a derogatory way. No, not at all.
Well, she doesn't get 131 caps for nothing.
Yes.
High bind.
Speaking to the referee is a real skill that you have to credit. You know, Hunter has been here so many times, and it's actually something that Rachel Malcolm, the Scotland captain, has spoken about this week. They're both at the same club at Loughborough, and she says how much that Rachel Malcolm's helped her, because it's Malcolm who's the Loughborough captain, but Hunter helps her along the way.
That's really nice to hear. That's great.
Long bind and hold your weight.
Well, Scotland have got, well, they can play anything they want here, provided they get static ball, provided the ball is clean. Huge blindside.
I expect Sarah Law to control this one.
10 and 15 can split either way here. Both stood directly behind the scrum.
Sarah Law gets it in.
Well, that's the first job done.
Picked up by Concord. Law is there. They push it out. They get the pass to Raleigh. Here comes Rona Lloyd. Still Lloyd bundled into touch. He manages to keep the ball alive.
Stay back, stay back.
Concord.
Ball is available.
Law just bounced off the floor. It was a knock-on. That was a real tough pass for Belial to take.
Well, you're talking about passing. The option that Scotland did take from the scrum would have worked had the passes been crisper.
Blue 3, please. Substitution on blue 3.
That was Rona Lloyd with the rainbow boots just flying away there.
It doesn't look much, but the pass above the head means she's got to stop.
Yeah, it's just that final pass out in the white. We've seen it a couple of times. Just something has to check, and it gives the time for the defence to come across.
Ball in front of her, she can run onto it. She's going for the corner. Ball over her head has to stop. Static just gives England that
time.
Split second, cover 2 more metres and make the tackle.
Change there for Scotland then. Saw Christine Belial there making her way off the field. On in her place, Gloucester Hartbury's Katie Duggan.
Use it.
They're given a real shove of that, Scotland there. Slightly unsettled England.
Okay.
That's a great clearance by Rowland, really strong.
It is, that's what you like as a forward. You do the hard work, isn't it, Heather? You get up and you found yourself on the halfway line. Much better.
With a clearance kick like that, worth remembering that Helena Rowland is 22 years old.
She's definitely playing with an assurance today that belies those years.
Yeah, certainly. Right. Hines McMillan. The one real bright spark for Scotland today has been how that line-out has functioned. Law manages to find McLachlan.
Ball's available.
Law told she can play it, tries to go herself.
Turnover is good. Knock on.
Knock on then by England. Scotland have it again. Law, she's really speeding up the pace of things here, Law, as it comes out wide. It's Campbell. Law with the distribution this time. She's caught.
Play on. Stay.
Superb clear out by Wassel.
Taka, release.
Thompson again. They're going to really attack down this near side channel. Smith again. There's numbers. There's lots of blue shirts. Law just trying to find a way past our referee. Lost forward in the end by Nelson. Popped off ball. Huge hit still going in. Rowland. It's almost like Scotland have found another lease of life. Packer with the hands to Aitchison. Cleal. Packer again. Oh, the magic pass to nothing, but Cow was there. Straight over the top by Campbell. Reed. Bit of support goes in the end from the forwards. Lucy Packer. Rowland. Oh, lost out wide. Well, England, they do play some pretty rugby, but you have to say the fight from Scotland in this second half in particular has been impressive.
Very much so, Sarah. I think they've just gone up a level, and I think that Sarah Law's organising them at the breakdown there, and they're really counter-rucking. Emma Wassel did a fantastic clear out at the bottom there. It doesn't sound much, but every of those inches count.
Well, we'll take this opportunity, Heather, to ask you who your TikTok Women's Six Nations Player of the Match will be.
I think there's been a couple of contenders. I think Rosie Galligan has been outstanding, coming back for her second cap, and Helena Rowland in this half particularly is coming onto her game. But Marley Packer scoring a hat-trick with 23 tackles and 12 carries has been outstanding. So, yeah, player of the match.
She's not missed a tackle either. And incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Wassel. Emma Wassel, she's a qualified accountant now. Managed to complete all of her studies whilst helping guide Scotland through that World Cup qualification campaign. Law. McLaughlin. Law again, she really does have that slightly more zip to her. Until she's got that energy off the bench.
First man on the ball.
Sarah Law there smiling, now playing her rugby at Sale Sharks. She joined there this season. So there's the respect from the crowd for Marley Packer. She's been everywhere. 80th cap as well today. Going strong at 32.
Well, she just doesn't seem to age, does she? She's been a world-class player for a number of seasons and is still performing at the very, very highest level. You can't say any more.
I'm going to give you the space that you need, okay? So, girls, you're closing that gap. Okay, here's your mark. I don't need to give the mark every time. Last 4 minutes of the game. Wait, please. Hold, please. Early. Okay, time on.
Strong line out from England. Rowland. Reed couldn't take that. Law. Can Scotland get something else out of that scoreboard before the final whistle? Conkle. Lloyd.
Yes.
Ready and waiting was Molly Wright. She's never actually started a test, Molly Wright. This is her 16th cap today. She's waiting patiently. Law. Switch back towards the action there by McMillan. Bartlett. In the end, cross-field kick. Taken nicely in the end by Campbell. Slightly on her own.
Campbell's been really impressive this half, really impressive since she's come on.
Laura Genton, Nelson. They're really trying to stretch the width of this pitch at the moment, Scotland.
Release 5.
And they're also trying to kick when they get into the 5-metre channel. Sometimes we just hold on to it sometimes.
Stop! 16, stop!
Crossfield once again. Lloyd takes and Dow's just trying to smother her. But it's been forwards, and that means we get to see another scrum. I remind you, of course, that England had that incredible autumn campaign, 4 from 4, including 2 wins over the world champions, New Zealand. And you do just feel they are still too strong for this Scottish outfit. And this is a big moment that I'll have to interrupt myself, because coming onto the field now is Meryl Smith to make her Scotland debut, the Edinburgh University student. She's on, she's smiling, and ready to make the most of her 2 minutes.
What a fantastic day to be making your debut. All the very best, Meryl. It's just absolutely fantastic. Edinburgh Uni will be very proud of you, and I know your school, Edinburgh Academy, will also be super proud of you.
Well, very popular here. I think she's brought quite a lot of Edinburgh University with her, is what I'll say.
Find! Set!
Could be a good student union night out going on somewhere very nearby later.
Use a 9!
Packer then to Rowland. Reed with the soft hands to Dow. Matthews.
On the body, not the ball.
This time Rowland. Here comes Singh. Very long, rangy player, Emma Singh. A lot of levers. Packer finds Reed. Beckett. That's gone forwards.
No advantage, good poach.
Perhaps you do feel that slightly each side is tiring here. The effect of the bench is just starting to slightly wear off from both sides. A minute left to go, and you just don't know the appetite. England 9 tries, have they got a 10th in them in just 40 seconds?
Well, maybe they have. I'd just like to highlight Marley Packer again. You picked her as a player of the game, quite rightly so. When she took that ball in to carry, not only did she have power, but as she was going down, she looked left and right, flicked the ball in left and right hand, so it was available for an offload. Didn't see it, didn't see the player there, so she kept it in there. But she's always looking, and that's the danger of her. Not only is she a power carrier, she's aware of the options around her, and had there been a runner there, she'd have been able to get the ball away again.
Keep the ball alive, yeah.
Well, the clock is nearly gone. Look at that scrum. It's shifting now. The clock is gone. Who wants to play right to the end? Popped off out towards the far side. Still alive. Touch on the ball then for Smith.
Release!
Another repeat surname now for Scotland with Meryl Smith on the field. Law. Smith. Distribution then. Kick down the field. Here comes Emma Singh. Only 21 years old. Packer, that was a lovely pass in a tricky space. Cow. England fizzing for more, but won't get it.
Excellent work.
Penalty for Scotland, and a chance to shift down the field one more time.
You say Molly Wright hasn't started, but she is worth her weight in gold. Replacement hooker, born in New Zealand, and just bring something to this game. I know around the squad she's hugely popular, and yeah, bring something to the front row, and that just epitomises that breakdown work there.
Big thump of the ball there by Lisa Thompson. So if you've got a penalty, you can go for the line out. Play continues, although the clock's in the red. Confirmed that this definitely will be a bonus point win for England. There's no doubting that. But can Scotland get something else? They've had plenty of possession and territory.
They've got the whole of the back row lined up in the centres to take the ball in.
Down quickly, Law then looks up, Smith. Comes to Campbell. Another Scotland penalty.
Kicking the ball.
So many penalties given away by England. This time Conkle. She goes on. Malcolm. Wassel. England surely have to be so careful. Law. Right.
Counter rock is good.
We're loving this endeavour. England, they do not want Scotland to have anything.
Come from back first, play on.
Packer's got it. She fought her way through that ruck. She's got it back. They just need to get this off the field.
In stop, 19.
It flies into the stand. That is the game. The winning streak continues for England. 19 victories in a row as the Scottish run ends in the Edinburgh Sun. It was a day for Marley Packer. Full time it was Scotland 5, England 57.
What am I?
So Packer there just taking in the adoration of the crowd after what has been an incredibly busy afternoon for her. A real star of this England side. And before we focus on England, just a word on Scotland first, please, Heather, because they have had such a wonderful World Cup campaign. But there is a sense of reality that hits when they play England. It's still the mountain to climb.
Yeah, I think today there'll be a lot of positives. The line out in particular was excellent, and I think they'll just look back at some chances. Rachel McLachlan's try was disallowed, etc., and they'll just look at how to just fine-tune these margin for errors area and cut out the small area, the errors. But they'll be looking to improve in their 5th place from the last 6 nations, and they'll also Meryl Smith at the end there was driving the tempo, and that was superb on her first cap.
And when it comes to England, Brian, we're just going to actually go head straight down then to pitch side, because already we have got the player of the match, Marley Packer, speaking to Sonia McLaughlin.
She's very keen on some water. We'll get you some, Marley.
Thank you.
A hat-trick scorer in a Six Nations win over Scotland. How does that sound?
Oh yeah, fantastic. Like, obviously it's nice to get on the score line, but I couldn't do it without the rest of the team behind me. Fantastic performance from us today, and I'm super proud. And yeah, it's quite fitting for my 80th cap in being Mother's Day tomorrow, so I think this one's for Oliver.
A hat-trick, 12 carries, you didn't miss a tackle. Molly, how do you keep the standards so high and stay so motivated?
I just love the game, do you know, like, I enjoy it, and like the training side of it I probably don't enjoy as much as the playing, but you know, and I love the people I do it with, and I think they put their bodies on the line for me, so I'll do exactly the same for them.
You are the TikTok Six Nations player of the match, Marley Packer. Well done.
Thank you very much, thank you. Cheers, guys.
Great to hear from the player of the match there, Marley Packer. Rachel, really impressive there, but what was the most pleasing thing to you today?
I think many elements. Set piece was really good. Seeing Emerson get her first cap today, but England taking their opportunities in the 22 when they got there. That percentage is going to be really high, which is something that Middleton will be really, really pleased with.
Maggie, you?
For me, Scotland, actually. You know, Scotland did very well. Score doesn't reflect their performance, but I know they're going to kick on against Wales. Just really impressed by the display today.
A cracking game here. Outstanding result by England. 57 points to 5. That's all from us for now. We'll see you again next week.
Sunglasses on, rugby in the sunshine. This could catch on.